What is wrong with William Shatner? Oh, 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 oh. Ooh, that was totally Jabba the Hutt. Put that right in my box.
Yeah.
Oh, 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 oh.
It was good.
Skywalker. Now I lost it when I tried to speak.
To answer your question, absolutely nothing.
What?
To answer your question, absolutely nothing.
His acting ability.
Oh, bite your tongue.
His toupee is a little weird.
And he's not aged well, to be honest.
You know what? I got to differ with you there.
Really?
He's 85. I just saw him the other day.
Oh.
You look 65, 70.
Okay, then he's aged
yeah,
really well.
he's like this close to death, man. And looks like he's going out partying, and I think he is. The reason I ask what is wrong with William Shatner. All right, the first time I saw him in a bazillion years was backstage at the Dr. Oz show. I'm assuming he was the next guest or something. They must do more than one show a day.
Yeah.
So I saw him. I said, "Hey, how's it going?" I said, "See ya." And I'll remind you at this juncture, I've known him most of my life. But all that does tell you is I've met him. Well, no, I know him, but I've known my Uncle Rudy my whole life.
Yeah.
I don't know what why. I was going to say I don't know what his last name is, but I do. It's Bonaduce. But I don't know that he has 6 kids. I don't know all their names. Okay. So William Shatner and I have known each other 40, 45 years. I see him at these autograph shows. And people treat him really oddly, and he hugs every one of them and takes their picture and says something nice, and they tell him that, you know, they made love one time while dressed up like a Wookiee or whatever it is, but every one of them has a story of why he's so important to them and why Star Trek is such a thing, and I mean, it's a big deal.
He's the king of these shows, right?
He would be the king of people who are up and around and likely to work again. Some people who are real close to death might make more money.
Okay.
But he can't make enough money for it to be interesting to him. I can't see 8 hours a day on a two maybe even 3-day weekend, 8 hours a day, signing things, getting people sweating on him, telling why they had sex with a Vulcan one time and vomited. I mean, really weird stuff. They love him. They cry. I can't imagine he can make more than $75,000. Now, it's a lot of money. It's for a weekend.
Yeah.
75 G's.
Good.
But it doesn't. I don't know one person that feels better having done it. When people come up to you and tell you, one time I was so excited to see Star Trek, I pooped, and my mom got mad. Whatever. It's nobody like, but maybe, see that, I asked the question, what's wrong with William Shatner? Because I think he's got $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing? They're weird. They're difficult. I saw Tim Curry at the same autograph show. I saw him, and I was not doing anything there. I just called up and said, "Hey, I want to meet Tim Curry." Don't tell him. Tim might be that other category I was telling you about.
Yeah.
He can't sign anything and or won't
Right.
because of his stroke. What happens is you pay between $100 and $200 and $500 for the Tim Curry experience, which means you get to spend a minute with him.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
That's a real unit of time. You get to tell him for 1 second that you used to dress up and drag just because of you. And now I'm a eunuch, Mr. Whatever. It can't be crazy enough. 300-pound drag queens, that seems to be the norm.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
can't.
he needs the money because he needs a fancy
No, he
wheelchair.
does need the money. I Googled him. According to that, he's got $10 million, but Amy says it's not true. And I believe Amy more than I believe Tim Curry about Tim Curry. So anyway, just like that's one of the things. Like, why do you need that still? Why are you going, like, if I did it and I've done 2, I don't make anywhere near that kind of dough, but I have a crazy weekend. You know what I mean? They pay all my bills, and I can buy dinner for a month or something like that. I make that kind of money. But
Nice.
I eat well, man. So anyway, I can't figure out why he does the things he does, except you're right, that maybe he just loves it, makes him feel good. I just think, like, Tim Curry looks like somebody's just pinching his nards. He just looks sad and upset.
But he looks like that no matter what he's doing. He looks
got
uncomfortable just living.
Yeah.
He's got the
not a
droopy
handsome
face.
fella.
So he's got that going. But back to my friend William Shatner. So he has 2.5 million followers on Twitter,
Wow.
which will give you an idea of the kind of people that show up at these autograph things for him. And so he's got 2.5 million followers. He tweets out, "Just saw Corvette Summer. There's 2 hours of my life I won't get back."
Oh.
So I tweet, "Hey, Bill, I think I star in that movie. I'll take the heat on this one."
Yeah.
And he writes back, "Hey, you look good when I..." Immediately. How is he doing that with 2.5 million tweet
Do you think
followers?
it's him, or you think he has a
Yeah,
social
he knows
media person?
stuff about me right off the bat. He knew, haven't seen it here yet. So you looked great in Arizona, blah, blah, blah. 2.5 million. I think he's sitting next to his computer waiting for somebody to tweet him. And
He just really, really loves the fans.
I don't think that's true.
No?
I don't think that's
Some
true.
Why is
people
he doing
have a paid person that sits by them and does it all day.
That can't explain the autograph shows, which are just fairly difficult. I mean, you do feel good about yourself, except you also feel terrible about yourself. The very first one I did was the biggest one. It was the Hollywood thing, right? And I sat and people told me how much the Partridge Family meant to them. And I great. This was my favorite episode. It's funny. That was my favorite episode. And I did that for 3 days. I went home with $17,000 in my pocket.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no kidding. So, but I need that money. That's a big deal for me. That's 3 months rent, 4 months. I can't even do the math. That's almost half a year's rent.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. I should do it. I'd be wrong not to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Why? I just don't get, and I don't get that he's sitting right next to his. And when you say there's somebody sitting right next to him, that seems just as hard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If somebody's sitting right next to him reading, hey, Danny Bonaduce says you're weird. Yeah, tell Danny Bonaduce I haven't seen him since he got caught with his pants around his ankles. What? No, is that what I'm really going to say?
Imagine how it is for the person doing that job, though. I've had several friends be the personal assistant to several different types of celebrities, A-list celebrities. Imagine what it's like to spend all your day with these divas.
Right.
Or an 85-year-old man, or the dude in the wheelchair.
Right, but I know the person who does it for career. That's the thing that I'm getting. That I don't think William Shatner has one of those, and he can certainly afford it. And I don't believe that. And I actually wrote to him like a second thing. That's what it was. I said I've known you my whole life. But last week in Arizona was the first time I had the courage to call you Bill. Thanks. I feel like such a grown-up. And he said, call me Bill, kid. And it's like immediate, an immediate response. It was,
That's good.
It is.
George Takei is the same though, and I think he does all his own. He's
very active.
And I think he has millions of followers. And
for a show that was on for a heartbeat.
Oh, my.
What, dear?
For a show that was on for a heartbeat.
Yeah, that only ran 3 seasons.
I don't even think it ran 3.
Yeah, but seasons were longer by then. But yeah, but it ran movies. It's been 20 movies by now with a guy who didn't wrestle in high school, and that would be Chris Pine.
Right.
Although I'm sure you could kick his ass.
Oh, I bet I could.
To be honest with you. So I'm a little disappointed in something. My daughter's wedding is coming up.
Yeah.
And she and her boyfriend just couldn't look more out of their minds. But what the hell? There's the fact that he's 6'8" inches tall and has 3 piercings in his nose. One side of his head shaved, the other white, and it goes down past his boobs. Like, they're crazy looking. And the thing on the invitation was a spooky wedding or whatever it was, .org, said, hey, we're gonna dress up this way. You should come as however you identify. And I thought, I'm kind of sick of that crap, to be honest. Why don't you identify as a citizen? Why don't you identify as a guy who drives on the left side of the road?
Identify in formal attire. It's a wedding.
Yes. I thought about that because I can, identify. I was thinking about wearing a wedding dress. So this is how I identify, in a white wedding dress. You should have thought of it. But I'm not doing it. And now it's deteriorated. It doesn't mean whatever you identify inside in your heart. It means it's a costume party. Like my sister's going as some kind of princess.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a wedding. It's stupid. I kept looking for stuff. I got this hat that I wore in this morning.
I love that hat.
Thank you, sir. I've got hats at home that look just like it that were $30 and $40. This was $6 at a costume store.
Oh, even better.
From now on, I'm doing all my shopping at a costume store. And so, I'm going to show up as a virgin bride, and I'm going to insist upon it.
News is brought to you by Les Schwab. A man in his 30s is battling life-threatening injuries from a shooting in Seattle's Maple Leaf neighborhood overnight. Seattle police were called to the 8200 block of Lake City Way Northeast just about 3 o'clock this morning. They found a 30-year-old man critically wounded from a gunshot wound. He was taken to Harborview, but police have not revealed a suspect description or a motive in this killing. We will update this story as soon as we get more information. And a 42-year-old man is in serious condition after he was stabbed south of Sodo. Police and medics responded to the scene, 4th Avenue South near Holgate Street. They'd received reports of a stabbing. When they arrived at the scene, they found a man there suffering from stab wounds. Now, he was taken to Harborview, also in serious condition. Suspect information, however, white man in his 20s, anywhere from 5'7" to 6'2".
Well, that narrows it down.
It's Paul.
Yeah.
Blonde hair and a camo jacket. Good luck finding him.
It's still Paul. He was wearing a wig as a disguise.
Well, the camo jacket, though, we'll never
Yeah,
find
you'll never see him.
No.
Yeah, don't take that off.
And as expected, the Seattle City Council yesterday voted 7-2 to repeal the head tax on the city's largest employers, granting a surprise victory to corporate giants such as Amazon and Starbucks weeks after they had unanimously approved the measure. So they unanimously approved this, and then lots of backlash, a lot of signatures, putting something on the ballot to have that measure get removed. And they said, oops, it's not a direct quote.
Right.
But a lot of criticism, and this gained international news. And they have said experts that they hired over the past few years to analyze the homeless issue said that we haven't been doing what they recommended.
Right.
So this head tax is actually not the solution.
But I knew that while I was yelling at that. And the 7 smart council members also knew that.
So they are going back to the drawing board, so to speak, to reanalyze where the funds have been going and how to better handle the homelessness issue rather than a head tax.
Well, they got those 12 little houses that they built and we're all happy about. Maybe you can, get bunk beds. That's 24 people off the street right there. And then police it so it doesn't become all filthy and needles and stuff. And then build 1,000 more. Yeah. And I believe we're on our way.
Well, and a lot of people are talking about those little houses, but those houses are going up in neighborhoods where the people who live there were not told about it. And of course, they are concerned, despite the fact they're drug and alcohol free. Are they going to be policed?
Right, they have to be. Have you ever seen, well, of course you have, it's a rhetorical question, but I'll still ask it that way. You ever seen a homeless encampment?
Of course I have.
I don't know why, I don't make that much trash, I don't think. Yeah. What are they doing?
Well, I mean, it's not being picked up. It's not like they have a garbage man stop by once a week and
why,
pick it up.
To make me as a citizen who pays taxes, who wants to help you, don't you take it to the nearest trash can? So when I walk by through your encampment, I think, these guys are well-mannered. That's, don't bother them. But when you do that, when you spill waste like that out into the street, I look harshly upon you.
There's a homeless mansion enclave near my house, and they have built...
I have no idea what that means.
Does that mean they have more bathrooms than they have bedrooms? Because it seems like most mansions have more bathrooms than bedrooms.
They are dubbing it the homeless mansion, and they have little outdoor seating. They've got a little bar area set up, like little tables and bar stools, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and this is steps away from the Space Needle.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen it. It's awful. I blame somebody. I blame the man. I blame everybody that thinks the way to do this is to coddle them and allow you. They should. I will stand my ground. That should not be allowed. And I would go by with the cops, and I'd say, make this okay within an hour, or you get arrested.
Yeah.
A British Columbia woman captured video of her father rescuing a bald eagle that fell out of the sky and became trapped in their backyard trampoline. They posted the video to Facebook that shows Dad.
Did it jump? If I fell out of the sky, and it's a bird, you could have done probably the better tricks.
Well, so you know the kind of trampoline it is, right? Real big, but it's got netting all around the side so the kids can't bounce out.
Yeah, for babies.
And they said that they didn't know if the eagle could see the net. It kept flying into it. So it must have had some sort of fight, which you see periodically, eagles fighting each other, and then one or both fall to the ground, and then they're a little stunned, and then it takes them a while to recover. They fly away. Well, this one was trapped inside a trampoline. Wasn't exactly sure how to do the jumps and the flips. Kept smashing.
But it can fly. Why not just fly out the top?
It kept smashing it into the net.
So it couldn't see the net then.
It didn't seem like it could see the net, or it was
you would think that our national bird could see things.
Yeah, with eagle eyes. That's an expression. You call it that. You've got eagle eyes.
It's got eagle eyes.
Well, Dad had to open up the net surrounding the trampoline, which allowed the eagle to fly away. The video is pretty spectacular.
Did Dad get attacked?
The dad did not get attacked. Okay. I think the eagle was grateful to be let out of the trampoline.
Attacked is a strong word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Amy was attacked by a crow yesterday.
Oh,
no. It actually hit her head.
Yeah, it's very, very common in springtime.
The weirdest thing about this, aside from a bird came out of the sky and hit my wife, was that somebody told her, be careful of the crows on that corner.
Yep.
Like, she didn't believe, I'm just saying we didn't believe, they didn't tell me. But like 3 days later, a crow attacked her.
Crazy.
Every single spring, my husband gets attacked by crows. And
protecting their young?
Yeah, because it's nesting time in Seattle.
Every August, I punch Gary Crow right in the face.
He got to the point where he knew And the crows, can recognize faces, so they'll know if it's the same person every day. So he would have to cross the street to stop getting attacked by the same family.
I would say shenanigans to your story, although I did see. Did you see a news story on it?
Oh yeah, I've seen that too.
I've seen that too. They can recognize people,
and then somehow they teach their babies what you look like. If you've been mean to a crow, they'll pass it down from generations.
It's like an Italian vendetta, man.
Right.
Well, Kim Jong-un, according to the Korean Central News Agency, has accepted Donald Trump's offer to visit the White House. Now, according to the foreign press, Kim Jong-un also invited Donald Trump to Pyongyang, and he has accepted that offer as well.
I'd go. I mean, in the human rights way, everybody will have, you can't go there till he addresses human rights.
Yeah.
I think you can maybe get him to do human rights better if he likes you better, if he likes America better, if he doesn't think of us as this big evil, because he lives in this crazy palace, man. I don't know what that guy's got going on that isn't on TV, but I'll bet it's some cool stuff.
Well, we haven't gotten confirmation from or denial from either party, so
That's in Egypt.
It does seem like perhaps Donald Trump will travel to North Korea. That would be pretty unexpected.
Yeah, I think it'd be super cool.
Well, a lot of people have been talking about that historic meeting between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump yesterday, including Dennis Rodman, who was there in Singapore.
He was?
He was.
I thought he was just talking.
Nope.
Why was he there? Did he have any access?
Yes. And here we've got a clip of Dennis Rodman talking to CNN about how Kim Jong-un feels about us.
Kim Jong-un wants to have trust in America. If Donald Trump can stick to those to his guns and saying, that we're gonna have a great relationship with North Korea.
Well, you know what? Take those rings out of your mouth so I can understand the words you say.
He wasn't at the summit though, right?
I did not see any video footage. But
yeah, the White House was saying he wouldn't have any official involvement.
No official
but
involvement.
But he went there.
I think he showed up to have pictures taken. If I had some kind of access that everybody wanted, it'd be great for this radio show. I'd go over there. I'd be on all the news networks because I'm just there and people can question it.
Right.
But nobody's letting, even if he were normal. He's an ex-basketball player. He doesn't but he's a lunatic.
But he does spend time with Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean he might have met with Kim Jong-un while he was there.
Yes.
But he wasn't at the summit.
Right.
Right.
Well, Dennis Rodman goes on to tell CNN about what a great guy Kim Jong-un is.
He's a good guy. Inside.
Yeah.
He's very young, but he's not stupid. And I think that he's going to show the world that he's going to try to keep his belief in what's going on with the government and try to make this a whole different regime. And I think his people is going to be very, very, very excited.
No, he's not, Dennis. Do you think he's trying to make it a whole different regime? Because I'll tell you what, he's the regime.
Yeah.
It's his regime. You can depose him, I guess, but I don't think that guy's going anywhere. He shoots his enemies with aircraft guns.
But the worm says he's a good guy.
Yeah.
The worm hit me so hard with a chair, and what a weird life experience that I can say that and it would be completely true. But, I don't trust anybody that sneaks up behind you with a chair.
Dennis Rodman also talked about how he and the Donald are still real tight.
I've been knowing Donald Trump for years, and he's always been an open-hearted guy. He says some things that people don't agree with, but I think he's a great guy. As far as friendship-wise, yes, he's a great guy, and he's helped me out a lot over the years. He put me on the right track, and so far so good. And I hope that Donald Trump would invite me to the White House.
Hey, Derek, would you look up Dennis Rodman's net worth and give it a peruse? Because sometimes there's a way to pad these things. Like sometimes I look and I'll say 87 million and it means $5. But he says he put me on the right path. Is Dennis Rodman on any good path?
Dennis Rodman's had a lot of issues and addiction issues.
Yeah, I don't trust people that have had addiction issues.
We've got one more clip of Dennis Rodman talking to CNN about people who he thinks has really helped him and stood by him through the years.
I'm thinking Chuck Daly, I'm thinking Phil Jackson, I'm thinking Jeannie Buss, I'm thinking, Pete Giannopoulos, I'm thinking Eddie Vedder, the Pro Jam, everybody that supported me through all these things. And plus, you know what, I'm thinking these guys at Popcorn that supported me through this whole venture.
I got you. We see this shirt.
What? So he thanks Eddie Vedder and the Pearl Jam.
And the Pearl Jam. And Popcorn?
It sounds
I
like
think he bought somebody popcorn.
It sounds like popcorn. No, Derek, what is this company?
It's called Potcoin. It's a new cryptocurrency similar to Bitcoin, and he was wearing a T-shirt supporting Potcoin.
I think he's doing very well wearing Bitcoin T-shirts.
That's right. I read that they paid for his trip to Singapore.
Yep.
Potcoin.
There we go. I knew it was something because my belief is he has nothing. Did you find anything there, Derek?
$500,000 is
And that's
his current
off.
net worth.
And that's often a net worth they put, which means this guy isn't rich. This guy has no. It might be less than that.
Here's what that same source lists as his occupation. He's a former basketball player, actor, and political diplomat.
Oh, there you go. I can trust that site.
Yesterday was June 12th. Today.
I know what that means.
Yeah, I was about to say, she beat me.
Well, yesterday being June 12th means it was George H.W. Bush's birthday, and now history has been made.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll bet I know what it is.
Yeah, what?
Is that 41? I think he's the oldest living president.
He is the first, he is the first U.S. president to reach 94 years of age.
I think that's what I said.
So he is the only president who got that old. So, yes, he's the current oldest, but he has the record for no one's ever hit 94 before.
Yeah. No, and I was clear that was going to be a record. But talk about people that didn't age well. Like, no matter what, if you get to be 94, you kind of age well, but whoo, looks a little rough.
Yeah.
Plus, he grabs a lot of Heine, which I think I'm okay with, really.
Ronald Reagan and Gerald Ford both died at 93.
I didn't know Reagan made it that old. I would have said in the 80s.
Former President Jimmy Carter reaches the same milestone in October.
Oh, that's right.
We've got Bill Clinton, George W., and Donald Trump, all 71, and Barack Obama, who is 56.
Bill Clinton's only 71? I'm
Yep.
surprised by that.
He's starting to not look very great either.
Yeah, and he went, in my opinion, from, hey, wow, look at Bill Clinton. It was great, to, you need some vitamins pretty
He's
fast.
so skinny. He's so skinny now. But let's hope that Jimmy Carter, who's had health issues as well, makes it to October.
How old was Clinton when he was president?
12.
Okay, apparently. I would have guessed 82 for sure with Bill Clinton.
Clinton?
Oh,
82?
that he's 82 now?
Yeah.
Does
I mean,
seem
he's
like
not.
it's
He's
been a long
71.
time. Yeah, right.
But that's so weird.
Tesla announced they are laying off more than 3,000 employees.
That's a shock.
CEO Elon Musk made this announcement at an employee email yesterday, saying Model 3 production positions will not be affected, but to downsize means to make Tesla more profitable.
Wow.
Says Tesla has grown and evolved rapidly over the past
I
few
thought
years.
Tesla wasn't profitable at all and never has been.
I thought that same thing, that the car itself, that they've sold the technology to other people and made money off of it.
Made money, but as a going concern, he always says, no, this has never made me money.
Maybe he's making it up on his flamethrowers.
Those are bitching.
Yeah.
He says that because of the growth, there are duplications of some roles and some job functions. So there's some redundancies, and by cutting 9% of the workforce, that will eliminate redundancies, thus making it more profitable for shareholders. He's been under a lot of pressure from shareholders, some of whom have called for him to be let go of his position.
You know, it's funny because he has an electric car that's better than most any other kind of cars. That's a great car. But because of the other things he wishes to do and tries so publicly, I forget about the great car he came up and the extended battery life that he created and think, where's the tunnel? Where's the fast train that goes 9,000 from here to San Francisco before I even buy a ticket?
Why aren't we going to Mars yet?
Exactly.
Well, maybe because he says, quote, given that Tesla has never made an annual profit in the almost 15 years since we have existed, profit is obviously not what motivates us. What drives us is our mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable, clean energy, but we will never achieve that mission unless we eventually demonstrate we can be sustainably profitable. So realizing now that people are calling for him to be fired, that if you don't start making some money, there'll be changes at Tesla.
And it's a publicly traded company, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So he can get fired from his own company.
And probably saying to shareholders publicly, our motive has never been to make money. It's not the great thing if you don't want to get fired. That is shocking.
Realtors in one upper crust.
Shocking, because it's electric.
I get it.
It's electric. Back to you.
Realtors in one upper crust New England town where celebrities and CEOs live side by side on well-kept estates are so worried about the housing market that they are taking steps to ban for sale signs. The Board of Realtors in New Canaan, Connecticut, that's where Harry Connick Jr., Paul Simon, Brian Williams all have homes. They have voted to take down all for sale signs starting July 1st. They will ban for sale signs in your front yard.
And not that I'm definitely against this or anything, but what did they say the reasons were?
They said it's an eyesore. They said it starts to look bad. It looks ugly. It looks desperate. It's probably not helping anybody buy a home because when you're shopping for a $3 or $4 million house, you're not just driving around looking at the neighborhood.
Okay, I've never bought a $3 or $4 million house, but I would say the last 5 homes I have bought, where I went to a neighborhood I liked, I've been told was cool, and drove around it and took those little things off and read about the house, and then I'd go in. So this one here in Queen Anne, I found it driving around Queen Anne because I knew it was a cool area.
Technology has kind of made that obsolete, though, because you have, an app on your phone. You could drive around that same neighborhood and it'll go, 500 feet. That house is for sale.
Right, which is all great, but the technology doesn't get rid of the joy of cruising through a neighborhood looking for the for sale signs. I mean, I do it now. I know what every house in my neighborhood costs because I find that real fun. I do it all the time.
Well, the median price of a home in New Canaan is $1.5 million.
Not bad,
That's
kids.
$1 million more than Seattle. So there's a lot of really wealthy people that are most likely relying on a realtor or the apps on their phones.
Oh, no,
or computers.
I think everybody is. This is a thing I do.
Right.
I've always done, and I've enjoyed it.
But imagine you're told by the town you can't put it up in your yard. You can't tell the world that your house is for sale because it's an eyesore.
Well, I feel like, what do they call it? A looky-loo. Because I go into open houses in my neighborhood where they know I'm not buying anything.
Yeah.
I'm the next door neighbor.
The concern is, too, like if the Seattle housing market started to go down and all of a sudden all the houses had for sale signs in front of them, you wonder why. What's wrong?
For a while, there was a lot of them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
People were going, hey, I could have earned 30% on my house this year alone.
And you do think that if you see a neighborhood that has a ton of for sale signs, you think, well, something's wrong with this neighborhood.
I think that these people are cashing out when I see a whole bunch.
Domino's announced it is partnering with U.S. cities to fill potholes and then stamp them with the company's logos to avoid letting bad potholes ruin good pizza.
Okay, kind of genius. I don't know if I saw it was a Domino's commercial or a story on the news, but whatever it is, they show the truck. They show a pizza kid driving his pizza car, and the pizza in the passenger is flying all around, getting all ruined, and toppings are flying off. And then he hits a pothole, and it's destroyed. And then this big truck pulls up, and they fill it with a Domino's pothole filler.
Yeah.
I'm going with genius.
That's awesome.
Domino's is calling it Paving for Pizza. The campaign is already underway in several different parts of the country, and you can nominate your town. So if you live in a place with a lot of potholes, you go online to Domino's and say, bring the pothole paving pizza potato over to my house. It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay.
A man named Richard, 21 years old, went into Target where 3 women in 3 separate reports told police he exposed himself to them. One was in the home decor section when she looked over and there he's got his Who's-Its hanging out.
Right.
And she reported him. Then a second woman was in the food section. She turns around and says, why is that Who's-Its sitting right there?
And then said, I didn't know Louis C.K. shopped here.
Then a third woman, different part of the store. She was shopping for men's clothing. There's the guy with his Who's-Its. Police arrived at the scene, and he said, well, my buddies there said they'll give me $20 if I walk around Target with my Who's-Its out, so I did.
Like for $20 for all 3 or $20 each instance?
$20 to go walk around.
Oh,
I
that's
think there
not
was
worth it.
Totally not.
Yeah.
$20.
Make it to $60 if you do, per instance. I think.
In the opening of the show, I was talking about things I am willing to do for money.
Yeah.
That would be one of them.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
News this morning brought to you by Les Schwab. Hey, in music news, we got a story about Gene Simmons. He is at it again. Wait until you hear what you can buy from him this time.
Oh, God.
We've got entertainment. We've got sports. Breaking sports news overnight. This is great news for soccer fans. Plus, you can win Mariners tickets next. Starting with music news, once again today at 7:20, we will give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett June 23rd at Key Arena. Early June, I mean, we are right at the cusp of awesomeness.
Yep.
There's so many concerts coming around. We were just talking about Yakima off the air. We're talking about like going on road trips and stuff, going to the gorge. There's so many fun things to do. Maybe a little too far for a road trip, but there is an awesome concert in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, for a road trip, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be, that might take a week.
I'm good. I'm good at a real road trip. I'm good at 400 miles.
Yeah?
I'll do 400 miles for some kind of reason. I grew up learning to drive my car. Literally, like right the second I got my license, I would just drive up to San Francisco in a day.
Oh,
it was an 8-hour day, and I would hang. So it was about 390 from my house. That's what I'm used to driving for something cool.
Well, you cannot get to Vegas that quickly unless, of course, you fly, which we recommend you do to go to the iHeartRadio Music Festival. It happens September 21st and 22nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, baby. JT, Jack White, Imagine Dragons, Leonard Skinner. We just announced Fleetwood Mac will be performing, and that's just a scratch of the surface of how many bands
so many great artists.
It's a big deal.
The Capital One card holders pre-sale is on right now. Those card holders can get access to tickets before they go on sale to the general public on Friday at 10 a.m. So right now you can go to iHeartRadio.com/Capital One and get those tickets before they are gone. In music news, we know that Kiss sells a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we do know that.
And surprisingly, you may not have known until now, they have unveiled a brand new product. Gene Simmons has unveiled the Kiss toilet seat.
That doesn't exist already? I
Can
am
you believe
shocked,
it?
Really?
to be honest.
You can potty like a rock star.
I get it.
I'm
Potty
not
all the time.
Yeah, I'm not making that up.
Potty in the house. Yeah, I got it. Very funny.
Potty
It should
like
be
a
Gene
rock
Simmons'
star.
big, giant, open mouth.
Oh, gross.
Ah, awesome.
It's his face.
It really is?
It's his face on the lid.
Okay.
It's not like when you open up the lid, his mouth being open or something.
See, that's what I was rooting for. I think that'd be
No,
fun.
it's super weird.
Kiss toilet seats on sale now. He unveiled them with a short video to the official Kiss Facebook page.
I gotta tell you, I said something. No, I had him on the air with me. I've done it a couple of times, but I only remembered this one because I was with Amy and she was more into social media. When I got 10 bazillion followers that day from the Kiss Army.
Yeah.
They're really loyal.
Mm-hmm.
How many of these toilet seats do you think they'll sell?
I think a
Dozens or
bunch.
thousands?
What was the question?
Dozens or thousands?
Thousands.
Thousands?
Yeah. I'm gonna buy 4.
Do you have 4 toilets in your house?
I do not.
Still.
I'm gonna wear one like a necklace.
Paul, how
Oh,
many
bring-
toilets do you have in your house?
3.
Okay, so
We should
between
send
us-
one to Kim Jong Un for
Yeah.
the crazy toilet he travels
I'll
with.
bring one in here. We'll install it in the work bathroom.
I think that's awesome.
I didn't see a price tag on them. I'm gonna guess they're probably around $50. So maybe we're not gonna buy them. 'Cause I have
$100.
2
I bet
toilets in my
$100.
I'll
house.
bet $100.
Yeah.
Derek, how much is a Kiss Gene Simmons toilet seat?
Yeah.
You can actually get Kiss air guitar strings for $3.99 a pack,
What?
which makes no
That's
sense
just
to
an
me.
empty package.
It's just an empty package, which is funny. I got an empty package.
$60 for the
Yeah.
toilet seat.
All right, $60.
Not nothing.
No, and how many toilets are in the employee bathroom?
2. Yeah.
We've got 4, so y'all need to start saving up some money to supply the bathroom.
How did you end up paying for all this, Paul?
Yeah, I know.
Angelina Jolie was what?
I don't like her.
She was told by a judge yesterday in the child custody, the judge who's overseeing her child
How
custody
is
battle.
that still going on?
Well, Brad Pitt has no custody rights.
And they have like 11,000 kids.
Right.
So
Well, she has been restricting access, and a judge said you need to open that up because it is harmful to the children. The judge has laid down new strict rules, including a cell phone policy that says Brad will be able to call and text each child at will without Angelina monitoring their conversations.
So, and she does that. I said she was a weirdo. As a matter of fact, at the opening of this segment, I believe I said, and I stand by it. But I always thought she was super weird and creepy.
like when she was wearing people's blood around her neck. Did
Well,
that
yeah,
give you a
yeah.
tip?
Just a tip, but yes, it did.
The way it has been is a child psychologist has to be present when he does have visitation. The visitation is very limited until now. He will see his kids in London for 10 days this summer. He can hang with one or two of them at a time for 4 hours a day. In June, he'll get 10 hours a day. Then, starting at the end of the summer, he gets 4 consecutive days. Then, at the end of the summer, he gets them for a week in Los Angeles. Presently, he gets to visit them monitored.
Right.
Which is like really strict for somebody who's not been accused of crime or arrested.
I don't know that he was accused of crime, but there were rumors on that plane where he screamed. Somebody said he hit one of those kids. I never believed it, but it was out there.
Well, the FBI were involved, and I think that came into play during the child custody agreement.
The FBI was involved? Jeez.
Because it happened on an airplane?
Yes. 16-year-old Maddox, that's the one he is alleged to have hit and verbally abused. He is not part of this custody agreement because he is 16. He can decide on his own if he spends any time with dad or all his time with dad, for that matter.
Fair enough.
Good news for your friend Mark Hamill.
All right.
Now, Danny, earlier in the show,
He's
you
another
said,
guy with millions of followers.
Yeah. Earlier in the show, you said that a movie that I believe you starred in with Mark Hamill.
Yeah, star is a strong word, but I had a couple of lines.
You mentioned that movie that William Shatner watched it and kind of dissed it on social media.
William Shatner said 2 hours of my life I won't get back. And at his age, that's important.
Well, Mark Hamill keeps on working. He has teamed up with Stan Lee to join the cast of the forthcoming Marvel TV series, Avengers Black Panther's Quest. This is the next installment in Disney's animated Avengers series. Both Mark Hamill and Stan Lee will be voice acting.
Oh, really?
You
might want to hurry for Stan Lee.
Yeah.
You might want to get all his lines contained right away.
He is ancient. Mark Hamill said, of
Do
course...
you know how old he is? His full name is Stan Lee Steamer.
No, it's not.
That's an old car reference.
No.
One of the first cars, steam-powered, the Stanley Steamer. It seemed funny in my head, man.
Oh, it was very funny.
Thank you. Jay Leno actually owns one of those and drives it in Los Angeles. A Stanley Steamer on Ventura Boulevard.
Well, spoiler alert, Mark Hamill does need a new role because of what happened in the last Star Wars movie.
What happened?
You can kind of figure it out by me saying he needs a new role.
Yeah, I guess.
And spoiler alert.
Wow. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean, spoiler alert, after they killed Han Solo, I was shocked.
I mean, I guess people who care have seen the movie, right?
I know.
Oh, Matt has a thing.
Matt has a thing.
Yeah, remember I bought Jelly Beans, some unicorns. I bought Tori a William Shatner driver's license.
Yeah.
They had these cool Darth Vader rings at the same store, and I was going to get one for Matt, but I couldn't find one that would fit me. They were too big. They're not for kids.
Oh.
And plus, if you punch somebody in the face wearing a Darth Vader ring, it'd be seriously awesome.
He's actually pretty sad right now that you did not get that for
Yeah,
him.
I feel bad now.
He does have a thing.
He
Star
does
Wars.
have a thing. I've seen his thing.
Funko has announced a new addition to their lineup of collectible pop figures based on the 5 characters of the cult classic film, The Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
It is a great movie, despite the fact it stars one of the actors, somebody you don't care for.
Totally thought that when I said that's how much I like that movie because Corey Feldman is it. So I should
Yeah,
go,
you should hate
it's
it.
stupid. Everything about it's stupid, and he's stupid.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie, and he's pretty good in it, and he's stupid.
The Lost Boys toy collection is based on the 1987 horror film about a mother who loves her boys. They move to a town in coastal California plagued by bikers, mysterious deaths, and, of course, vampires.
Yeah.
Jason Patrick, Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, they are doing the Funko toys, which are really cute.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
You said they're doing it. That's a verb. What are they
They're
doing?
they're
Funko.
making characters, the
Are
Funko
making
characters,
the toys.
Funko Pop characters.
Okay, here's what I got. Corey Feldman is doing something. Is he really doing anything?
They are making the toys based on those characters.
Because I don't want that guy to
The
work.
company is doing
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Funko's
Okay.
doing something.
I'm cool with that.
Their headquarters are in Everett, where they have
Seriously?
their factory, and they have a big store there with like every one of their toys on display.
I didn't know
It's
that.
really cool. You can go and just walk around. You can't do factory tours, but just going to the store is awesome.
Oh, that's really
Don't
neat. I
they have a
no idea.
treasure?
A treasure?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Everett Treasure,
Yeah.
Kenny Loggins.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
Everett has treasure, yeah.
We could say Everett Treasure Funko,
Yeah.
the makers of the collectible pop figures. We have some here, and now I'm trying to remember. They put them on Steve Slayton's desk, which made him really angry, which delighted me. But I think it was Beatles Funko characters
Yeah,
that we have over there.
They have tons of like music-related ones. They have
I don't know
Guns
what
N'
they are.
Roses and AC/DC. They're kind of like bobbleheads, but
A
I mean,
big
you've
head?
seen them. Yeah,
I've seen him. Yeah. Amy is searching high and low for a Tim Curry one. Imagine.
Check with at the headquarters
There's
in Everett because
one
they have
of-
all of them there.
There's one from the clown.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got that one.
Pennywise.
But I think she just wants a naked Tim Curry in a wheelchair.
They also have you can create your own, so they have like all these parts there, and you can put your own together. Holiday and Jelly Bean
neat.
made their own.
I'm
Seriously,
fun.
Yeah.
that's so
I'm
cute.
going there.
Field trip.
Totally.
Yeah,
That's
totally
one we
worth it.
could do too.
Yeah.
Everett. And yesterday, AT&T won a federal judge's approval for its $85 billion deal to acquire Time Warner. The federal government had put the kibosh on this, and a U.S. district judge said, yep, you'll go ahead and buy that big old company. $85 billion.
Wow.
AT&T expects to complete the deal by June 20th. Some people are concerned what this means for consumers. AT&T says it just allows them to compete with Amazon and
Right.
Netflix.
I would not
shall
even
see.
normally know these numbers, but I worked for a radio company about 30 years ago. But I'm a grown up 30 years ago. I'm almost 30, and I worked for a radio company that got bought to become Clear Channel Radio for $17 billion, and it was the biggest buy of a business ever. And now they're $85 billion all the time.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Mitch Haniger and Ryan Healy each homered not once but twice, making that 4 home runs.
Nice.
And the first place Seattle Mariners shook off not 1 but 2 home runs from Mike Trout.
For the second game in a row.
Second game in a row. But we beat the Angels. Second game in a row.
Take that, Mike Trout.
Yeah. Go fishing for a win, Mike Trout.
Wow. You
I
didn't
see what you
stiffer.
did
I was
there.
going to stiffer. Okay. That's very funny. I think I did something along those lines yesterday. You stiffed me, you bastard.
I'm sorry.
6-3 victory over the Los Angeles Angels. Now, Mike Trout did take sole possession of the major league lead with 23 home runs, so he's having a good season, but
In
not
one
good enough.
game?
No, that would
That'd be a pretty awesome game.
yeah.
So far this season, it's been back and forth between him and what's his butt for the Red Sox? AJ,
Houlihan.
TJ Martinez. What the hell's his name?
Yeah. That
Sure.
guy.
That
Just
guy.
blanked on that. Anyway, Mike Leake allowed 1 run in 6 innings. They have won 3 straight and remain a half game ahead of Houston atop the AL West.
First place.
First place.
JD Martinez. Okay, I feel better. If you were at last night's Mariners game at Safeco Field, you need to start calling us if you can remember what the KZOK Mariners music trivia song was. If you do, and you are the first person to call us right now, you'll win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. It's hard to miss the song as it blasts throughout the entire stadium. You sing, you try to play along to trivia. If the correct person calls right now, Derek, what do they win?
They win tickets for the game on Friday night at 7:10 versus the Boston Red Sox, which just happens to be Mariners Fireworks Night.
Mariners Fireworks Night.
Call right now, 800-252-1025. So big series with the Red Sox coming up this weekend, but the homestand with the Angels continues today. 1 o'clock start time today. Well, 1:10. Marco Gonzalez versus Garrett Richards. So 1:10 start time, Root Sports for your Seattle Mariners. There's a video making the rounds that has everybody claiming it's very dusty in here.
What,
It was-
in here?
That's the joke about when you get a tear in your eye. You're like, oh, it's just
Oh,
really
it's not,
dusty.
yeah.
Just dusty
Oh,
in
I
here.
was cutting an onion.
Oh, yes. This
Yeah.
is cutting onions. It's a very, inspiring video making headlines. A high school pitcher strikes out the final batter to advance to the state champions. Now, normally when you win a big victory, your teammates mob you. Everybody jumps up and down.
Does
Yeah.
a weird dive on each other, and I think looks like it hurts.
I would agree with that. But in this case, the high school pitcher strikes out the final batter and then runs to home plate and hugs the batter, who turns out is his lifelong friend.
Well, that's adorable.
It's
I think
really
I'm
sweet.
cutting an onion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like
To be
it?
honest, no. I mean, the team
I thought it
does
was
run out.
dusty in here.
Team runs out to mob him, and he leaves him hanging. You know, he avoids the celebration with his own team to go, you know, whatever,
Yep.
hug his buddy.
He said that.
And I also hated their uniforms.
Well, see there, I thought you had a point, and then you got into fashion.
They had this like weird black stripe along the bottom of their shirt, and it looked like they were all wearing fanny packs. So that was distracting. I'm like, first of all, I hate these guys, the picture, and second of all, why are they all wearing fanny
I think
packs?
hating the picture is strong.
Yeah.
How old
How
are
do you
these
not
kids?
celebrate with your?
High
I mean,
school.
your team celebrate this big victory.
Yeah,
It's
because I've been
meaningful
on
to them,
so
too.
many school teams. You know, first I was golfing, then
Yeah.
tennis.
Well, the pitcher said, I had to say something. Friendship is more important than the outcome of a game. I just wanted to make sure he knew that before we celebrated. So after he hugs his buddy,
Yeah.
his buddy said, thanks, that meant a lot. The kid goes to cry, and the pitcher goes and celebrates with his team.
They were kind of done by the time that
I
he.
might be
went
won
on.
over by Paul. I
Yeah.
thought you were being a big fat jerk, but I don't think so.
I mean, they all. So the catcher is the first one to run out, and the guy kind of pushes him out of the way. The pitcher pushes the catcher out of the way to get to his buddy, who's, you know, I guess sad that he lost the game. But
I thought you were going to say, and I don't know, I thought you were going to say his lifelong partner and that they were lovers.
High school.
You could have lovers in high school. I had several lovers in high
I
school.
did not. You can go to KZOK.com if you would like to see that video and judge for yourself. Is Paul a miser or is it heartwarming?
I think people will be with me, and especially when they see the fanny packs.
All right.
What are you guys doing?
Because people are evil,
Yeah.
I think that you're going to come out all right, like the text line.
Right.
But I think that's kind of cute.
Yeah, I can text into 90627 and tell Paul he's mean.
Yeah. Go watch the video. You'll know.
Okay, also in sports, today the Sounders play the New York Red Bulls with a 5 o'clock match time. And the world's biggest sporting event, the World Cup, does start tomorrow, 8 a.m., Russia taking on Saudi Arabia. Now we are getting some info about the odds. 5-time champions Brazil are the World Cup favorites at 7-2, followed closely by the defending champs Germany at 4-1, and France 6-1.
Not a chance.
You got to do the ho ho ho. I don't do that very well.
France is a good pick, though.
Nope, not going to do it. I'll bet you 5 trillion Zimbabwe dollars.
I'll take Germany. All right, Paul, did you want Germany?
You can have Germany
All right.
if you want them.
Are you going to take
But that's a
Brazil?
good pick as well.
Okay.
I'm not taking Brazil. Brazil's not going to win it.
France is stupid.
I'll take Belgium, actually.
Okay.
I'm going to take Belgium. They're not going to win, but I'm going to take them anyway.
Well, breaking news
They
overnight.
cannot stick with one opinion.
Breaking
because
news
they
overnight
waffle.
about soccer, my friends. The United States might not be participating in the World Cup, but it did pull off a historic victory in Russia all the same. We are getting the World Cup in 2026.
Nice.
So you can care about that
Can I care about that?
far out?
It's
You-
coming to Seattle, David.
yeah, I mean-
Well, I get it, but I mean, does your heart really race?
Yeah, I mean we've bid on it so many times and not gotten it.
All right.
It's awesome.
And I didn't know it was Seattle. I knew it was America.
It's
Yeah.
America. So here's the
But
deal.
it's Seattle, right?
It's a collaboration between U.S., Mexico,
Yeah.
and Canada. All 3 countries will be hosting the World Cup instead of Morocco, which was the only challenger. One of those games will be played here in Seattle.
Neat.
This was a 3-nation bid that got the majority win, so we will, America, be the host for 2026.
I'm going to make a concerted effort to not be dead by that time. I swear to God, I want to make it a priority.
Normally we're not willing to come up with enough bribe money to
Right.
make it happen. So it's surprising that it didn't go to Morocco.
Yep.
Morocco
Yesterday, the
doesn't have
Storm
enough
defeated
money.
the Chicago Sky 96-85. They play again Friday, the Storm versus the Connecticut Sun at 7. And congratulations to Doug in Woodinville. He was at yesterday's Mariners game. Big win for the Mariners. Big win for Doug in Woodinville. He knew Mariners KZOK music trivia from last night's game. Life in the Fast Lane from the Eagles. Doug's going to the Jeep winners window in our library to pick up tickets to, I don't know, Derek, I forget when they win.
Doug won tickets for the game on Friday night at 7:10 versus the Boston Red Sox, which just happens to be Mariners Fireworks Night.
Mariners Fireworks Night!
Don't miss the first of 5 fireworks nights at Safeco Field featuring the best of baseball music. The Mariners have partnered with Pyro Spectaculars, the same group who produces the New Year's Eve at the Space Needle extravaganza for this big event. For tickets and more information, go to mariners.com/fireworks.
Excellent. Well, the next chance to win will be tomorrow because the Mariners take on the Angels at 1:10, a start time on Root Sports. It's here at Safeco Field, so listen tomorrow at the same time to win tickets.
It is 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's 7:03, but the big action, if you ask me, happens at 7:20, and that is when we play the game, Who's the Jimmy? And if you get the right Jimmy, you get to go see Jimmy Buffett at Key Arena.
There was a story that I think a lot of people were horrified by but could also connect with about a young girl, 9 years old, who was sent to rehab after becoming addicted to the video game Fortnite.
Yeah.
Now, Fortnite is something typically played by younger people or Derek. No, but there are a lot of athletes who are really, really into Fortnite, professional athletes, and people are getting caught up in it. And we've seen it. People got really caught up in Pokemon.
Right.
I can relate to it, not really the rehab part, but I got really caught up in Tetris.
Yeah.
I would go so far as to say I had a Tetris addiction.
My wife told me, and we had just recently met, she's a sweet young lady, and she said that Tetris was so popular a while back, I guess, that women who were addicted to playing it while they were pregnant, their children were born with tetrasitis. And I totally believe that. And I fancy myself an informed person, but it just sounded right.
But people can get really caught up in something. I mean, obviously not drugs or alcohol, but you can get caught up in the smaller things. Getting addicted to video games is not that uncommon.
Well, not to rule out drugs and alcohol, because I had a tendency to get addicted to those too. But something I took too far, like kind of an addiction. This is going to sound, well, I guess it all sounds stupid. Tap dancing. I started taking lessons. Then I bought tap shoes. Then I bought floors because you screw up your floors tapping. So I bought tap boards for my home.
Wow.
Then I started buying outfits to tap it. I just went crazy. The one thing I never really learned to tap. It's too hard. I don't have the lungs for it. But it seemed cool.
Well, you guys listening, when did you get caught up in something? We've seen it with Pokemon. We are now seeing it with Fortnite. What did you get caught up in? For Danny, it was tap dancing. Share your story by calling 800-252-1025 or text in 90627 now.
Man, this little girl's got one up on me. I didn't go to rehab till I was 35 years old, but this young lady did. She was playing this game called Fortnite, which I don't even understand. You know, I've never really played them, but I believe that I've heard of more than one person addicted. And so here's the question to you. When did you get really caught up in something? Here's our phone number to call, 1-800-252-1025, and text away to 90627.
Paul in Buckley, good morning.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, guys. The video thing started in the computer world. We had the very first game called Pong, and we couldn't get away from it. All of the technicians, everybody was talking, and it was ridiculous.
It was so funny because I remember that, and you know, the neighbor kids and I, because only one person had Pong in the neighborhood, or one family, and if we didn't fight, we waited patiently for our turn to play Pong, and people thought, and maybe rightly thought, they got to be experts at it and unbeatable at that little dot flying around the screen.
When we were in Russia last month, we went to the Russian, what was it called? The Soviet arcade of vintage video games.
Oh, yeah.
And there were a lot of things like Pong that just the technology was so low, but it was super fun and you could see getting addicted to it.
I have such a closed mind to Russia and Vladimir Putin and those guys. I didn't think they had anything for entertainment. I thought you worked all day and bought a potato and went home.
Wrestled a bear.
Yeah, that's what you did.
I would say half of the video games had to do with submarines.
Really?
It was like, war based.
Yeah.
But a lot of Pong type technology, super funny. Let's hear from Sass and Bothell.
Hey, Sass.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
We're good, thank you very much. What do you got?
I'm addicted to obstacle course racing, Spartan racing specifically. I started with a single race a couple of years ago, and now I'm this this season alone, I've got 12 races scheduled.
What makes it a Spartan race, though? It's not just one of those mud runs, and it's not just a race. What, briefly, makes it a Spartan run?
Well, it is a mud run. It's just that Spartan is the branding for it, but it's heavy lifting, it's barbed wire crawls, climbing ropes.
Right, that's what I thought. That's crazy.
Carries, that kind of stuff.
12
times
races.
a year.
When Spartan run, when a marathon's not enough.
I always think I would like to do one of those. I just don't want to do one with mud.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people.
You probably don't want to do the mud run.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I know people like SAS, though, who have gotten really caught up in doing things like 10Ks.
Right.
Or the Rock and Roll Half Marathon, any race that comes to town, the cupcake run, the hot chocolate run.
Talk about getting caught up. Do you remember the pictures of the woman who lost control of her private areas trying to finish a race?
Yeah.
Their famous picture. It's like, oh, my God, lady, stop. Don't do that.
Greg in Redmond, when did you get really caught up in something?
Good morning, gang. Danny, you probably had a pair of these. How about those MC Hammer parachute pants?
A pair. Who do you think you're talking to, Greg? Yeah, a pair.
A pair of every color.
I must have 20 pairs of those things.
So a young girl got sent to rehab. She became addicted to the video game Fortnite. We're asking, when did you get really caught up in something? Danny got real caught up in tap dancing. I was addicted to Tetris for sure. Call us now at 800-252-1025 or text your answer to 90627. Let's hear from Rick in Tacoma.
Hiya, Rick.
Hey, how you doing?
All good. What do you got for us?
About 15 years ago, I was addicted to Asheron's Call. It was like a online D&D game.
Yeah.
I got to the point where if I wasn't working or sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night, I was playing the game.
Oh,
boy,
honey.
my son is way into D&D, and I think what a healthy choice compared to all the other things a 17-year-old boy could get into.
Yeah.
But they take it really far sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, one of our texters says he's addicted to Dungeons & Dragons. Andrew in Kent, he said he started playing when he was 13. He's 43 and still playing Dungeons & Dragons.
When do you win?
Oh,
Right.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Another texter, Dawn in Shoreline, said she went crazy with beer and cider making. She bought about $650 worth of equipment. She made one batch and has never used it since.
That sounds familiar.
My wife did that. That seems to be a good one. Tell me if you think this is going too far. I was trying to learn to speak Japanese. I figured it worked its way into my martial arts abilities. And so I listened to these tapes over and over and over again. Then I'd go down to Little Tokyo and I'd start asking strangers either the time or directions in Japanese. And mostly they wouldn't speak back to me in Japanese. They'd either hate me or speak in English. Japanese. But eventually, I married a woman who barely spoke English because that seemed like the fastest way to. And so that seems to be going fairly far.
You got a little caught up in learning Japanese. Dane and Lacey, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I'm addicted to Fortnite.
Really? And Dane, what is your age range?
I'm 15 years old.
15 years old. Now, like I said, it's a lot of young people and athletes. I'm not sure. Dane, is this like guns? Do you shoot people?
Yeah, you shoot people and you build, and you just try not to have an aneurysm.
You try not to have an aneurysm? Is that what he said?
Yeah, pretty much. It just gets really intense.
It gets intense.
Wow. And like, what is the longest period of time you've played without a break?
Oh, probably 3 hours.
Oh, my goodness,
Wow.
Dane. Please don't get to the point where you wear a diaper, because that's what happened to this girl, and she got sent to rehab.
And he doesn't mean you try to not have your character have an aneurysm. He means you try as the player to not actually have an aneurysm.
The veins in your forehead burst.
Yeah.
All right, Dane, thank you for calling, and be careful with that addiction.
Another one of our texters into 90627 is addicted to kites. 2-line and 4-line stunt kites. Over the years, collected over 300 kites.
Well, that seems stupid. I was going to back him up because those things are neat. And I've seen people actually lifted off the ground by those things, by the 4-line kites.
Oh, yeah.
But they're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of them. You know, I wonder what bills he didn't pay.
Danny, you're a little caught up in your sneakers right now.
Yeah, I have 25 pairs, I think, and some of them light up, which I like. Those are cool.
Let's talk to Sam and Everett. When did you get really caught up in something, and what was it?
Ohio gozaimasu, Tomodachi.
Ohio gozaimasu. Genki desu ka?
That was awesome.
Well,
Oh, that's very good. I got caught up in solitaire and mahjong.
Solitaire and Mahjong on computers.
Is that the way you say that? Mahjong?
I thought it was mahjong.
I thought it was mahjong.
Yeah.
Well, Sam speaks several foreign languages, so I'm guessing
And
he
he
might
can
be
say
able to-
mahjong?
He's addicted to it. He can call it
You know what he's addicted to, don't you? Mahjong. I want to learn to play that one. That's that and cribbage seem like they'd be really cool, and they have props. Because you know my wife and I play games all the time. Matter of fact, I would say I'm kind of wrapped up in backgammon. We play every single day, but I don't miss out on anything because of it. But I want to get that bridge with that peg that goes around the board. That seems awesome.
But you can play Mahjong or Solitaire on your phone.
Yeah,
and
you
that's what furthers your addiction.
So when I say this, are you going to judge me? I have no idea how to play solitaire.
I know. We'll teach you.
You're not the first person to say that, and then you're going to go, oh, no, you're unteachable and stupid.
Paul, what is something you've gotten really caught up in?
Danny and I both got totally caught up in our Fitbits, especially competing against each other. We were addicted to steps.
Like, it's hard to get the 10,000 that they recommend.
Yeah.
And Paul and I would sign off at night with 28,000 steps.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And by the way, just so you know, I had to unfriend my wife. Same thing, man. We just couldn't do it.
Right.
Tori, have you gotten really caught up in something, and what was it?
I hardly watch TV, like ever, but I started watching Black Mirror, and I could not stop. It's one of the most amazing TV shows.
Of course you like
What is
Black
it?
Mirror. It's sadism, it's weirdness, it's uncomfortable
science fiction.
situations.
Is it American? Is it an American show?
It's no, it's British, and
That's
it's
what I thought.
actually about like kind of technology, AIs, you know, how the consequences of technology.
I'm going to
on
give you a
society.
British show that's almost the same, and I think you should watch that. It's called Black Adder. That's about medieval times. I think you should watch that.
Okay.
A lot of people have gotten really caught up in Black Mirror and their standalone episodes, so you can just watch at random. I think I told you I tried watching one, and it had to do with like a British politician who was told that if he wants to like save the world, he's got to have adult relations with a pig.
Wow.
That sounds great.
You mean I was saving the world?
And Derek told me that they got better after that, and I didn't believe him.
Oh, I'm going to check it out now. And by the way, Blackadder is a fall-down farce comedy about a knight that's in modern times.
That sounds terrible.
It's kind of, you know what, if you like whoever those guys are, Monty Python, then you'll like Blackadder.
All right.
And Derek, when did you get really caught up in something?
For a while, I got super into playing darts. Me and my friends found a bar that was going out of business, and they were selling like those big, tall arcade dart machines. So we bought one for my buddy's apartment, and we started playing like every day. We were going to start a team. We were going to play in tournaments, but I never got very good. So they kind of stopped inviting me over to play darts with them because they knew I was never going to help at all in any way.
I was given a really elaborate pool table as a gift from my boss 25 years ago. I've never won a game of pool in my whole life. Some things are not meant to do.
Thanks for all the calls and texts. We are now going to get ready to play Who's the Jimmy?
Who's the Jimmy?
This is your chance to win a pair of tickets to Jimmy Buffett, June 23rd at Key Arena. You want to play and win the tickets? Call us right now, 800-252-1025. Who's the Jimmy?
Who's the Jimmy?
This is your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett, June 23rd at Key Arena. Here's how it works. You just need to listen to Danny's clue and tell us who the Jimmy is, and then you are headed to the show. Let's get our contestant ready to play. It is Phil in historic Kent.
Hiya, Phil.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you. It's important now. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes, I do.
All right, do you understand the rules of the game?
Yes, I do.
Then here we go. Who's the Jimmy who, in only 3 seasons, set the Seahawks franchise record for the most receptions, most receiving yards, and most receiving touchdowns at tight end? What a tight end it is. He's 6'7", handsome, and flies in his own airplanes. I know that I should hate him, but I just can't do it, even though he plays for another team now. Luckily, it's the team with my other man crush on it. Can you tell us who's the Jimmy?
Would it be Jimmy Graham?
It would be Jimmy Graham.
Nice job, Phil.
I
The
think it was
delivery on that was fantastic.
That's what I was
man.
thinking. It's the dramatic reading that did that.
Jimmy Graham, what a tight end. And same for Phil, who is headed to the Jeep winners window in our building.
Wow,
pick
what do
up-
you know
Probably
we
true
don't
about
know?
Phil.
Yeah.
I know Phil. He's going to the Jeep winners window here in our lobby to pick up his tickets to Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer
Sarah
Band.
will see you there.
Key Arena. The rest of you, you've got another chance to win tomorrow at 7:20. And up next, the big news of the day.
Don't leave home without it. It's the big news of the day, and it's brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE, or you can go online to goldbergjones.com.
You guys remember the video that was circulating that we talked about the FBI agent who was dancing and then tried to do a backflip? Well, he succeeded in the backflip, but
Right. Then he shot a guy.
he shot a guy when
I don't know if you can call that a success.
No, not really. That's a good call.
He accomplishes the backflip, but upon his landing, the gun falls out of his waistband, and when he picks it up, accidentally fires it into a person.
Crazy.
It went into this individual's leg, and he's going to be okay, but he has turned himself in to...
Who, the cop? The FBI guy?
The FBI has turned himself in. And
I thought the victim was wanted for something.
He was charged...
Hero FBI agent, nabs criminal.
yesterday with one count of second-degree assault. He turned himself into the Denver Sheriff's Department. There was a warrant issued for his arrest, so he turned himself in. Police said they had been waiting for the results of alcohol and drug testing before making the arrest. They are still awaiting tests to determine what his blood alcohol content was at the time.
1.6.
You think?
Well,
that's how drunk you have to be to do a backflip.
Do a backflip at a nightclub. You got to be geezed, man.
The sheriff says we are filing this charge now rather than waiting until the blood alcohol is received, which we understand could take another week, because sufficient evidence has been presented to file it. If additional charges need to be filed, then we will file those charges then.
So what's the crime? Having a gun while drunk?
Yeah, but they filed assault charges. He won't be convicted for assault, for second-degree assault.
No.
There's no intent. It'll be negligent discharge of a firearm. That's what he'll plea it down to.
Yeah, and will there be any real repercussions? Is he going to lose his job?
I think he'll lose his job.
I think he'll lose his job.
He's 29 years old. He was off duty. He was on vacation. And the FBI says they are conducting an internal investigation. Their options are termination, suspension, or reprimand. Now, the guy who got shot says he hopes that this guy doesn't lose his job.
Right.
I mean, 29 years old, for one backflip, that's pretty tragic to lose a job at the FBI.
Backflip, it's firing a gun while drunk in a crowded nightclub.
That gun doesn't shoot itself.
Much exactly. But much like the victim in this, I hope this guy doesn't lose his job over this. It was a mistake. These things can haunt you for life. And having had things go incredibly bad in my lifetime, I can feel his thought when his gun went off in a public place.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's drunk with a gun in his hand.
Yeah.
You know, I believe I can feel what he was feeling. I feel sorry for him.
Father's Day is on Sunday.
I know what that means.
Well, it means you need a good present.
That means I should probably start shopping.
Well, I've got an option for you.
One more of the upsides of my dad passing away.
No.
I don't have to get anything.
Kraft is auctioning off the perfect gift for the cheesy dad who has everything, a custom cheese sculpture of his head. The food giant Kraft, known for a wide variety of cheese products, has posted their offering, the custom cheese sculpture of your cheesy great dad for Father's Day. They will allow you to submit your photo of dad, and then it gets made into a sculpture. And I've seen
like a
the
3D
pictures.
printer, you think?
They said that they have sculptors, cheese artists.
It's incredibly well done, too. Like, I've seen some of them. They showed some samples.
They're great.
It looks amazing. How much does it cost? It has to cost thousands.
If you ask some people that listen to the show, I am, in fact, a cheese artist. You know, at least that's what I've been told.
Yeah, you certainly know how to cut the cheese.
Yeah, most certainly.
Well, what's happening is they're auctioning off these cheese heads. So to answer your question, Paul, of how much they cost, it depends on how much people bid. But proceeds are going towards Feeding America, which is the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization.
That's nice.
So you get an awesome gift for dad, and you help feed people.
Yeah, then you can give the cheese head to like some hungry dude.
Yeah, I just thought of it. My dad's from Wisconsin. He's a Packer fan. He's a cheesehead. How did I not do this?
How did you not get this?
I named a star after him or something.
And there's a homeless guy right there who's desperately in need of a cheesehead.
Yeah.
Nintendo has lifted the curtain on a number of titles during its annual E3 presentation this week. The company kept with its tradition of live streaming a video presentation known as Nintendo Direct. They have showcased Super Mario Party, Super Smash Bros., Ultimate, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and those are just a couple of things which they say are set to be released later this year.
And they're games?
Yep.
All right.
Super Mario Party is set for release on October 5th.
If I play them, is it mandatory that I wet myself, or is that an option you get these days?
Well, Derek is the person who games the most out of anybody on this show. Derek, are you able to control yourself and go to the restroom for breaks?
Yeah, I don't have an issue with bathroom breaks. There's a pause button on most games, so you can just take a break if
There's
you want.
no pause button on life, son.
There's not on Fortnite, though, so that is an online-only
See?
game, and you cannot pause it, so that's why some kids are having issues there.
Derek, are you one of those guys sitting there with the headset on, talking to people and across the country, calling them names and stuff?
It's usually 13-year-olds calling me names.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I am one of those guys.
You play with a headset.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen Matt play with a headset before. His brother played with a headset for a long time. You can play Grand Theft Auto with other people.
Yeah.
Most games now you can play
Now,
wearing that.
I'd be making fun of myself with how out of it I am to say he plays games with a headset. Isn't he almost 40? But he's not alone, right?
Not at all.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's so out of my wheelhouse.
Well, it's mid-June, and you think that means kids running through the sprinkler in the front yard.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Everything about being the age where you thought, this is awesome. I'm running through a sprinkler. Everything about that age was
Look,
great.
water.
Yeah.
Backyard barbecues. But,
Yeah.
you think about kids.
Karen Sterling. Ooh.
Kids outside having fun. Well, when kids run a lemonade stand, sometimes they run into trouble. I'd say several times each summer, somebody gives them a ticket
Yeah.
or shuts them down.
Yeah,
So
they
you
don't
don't
have
have
the
a
proper
license.
permits,
Yeah. Right.
license. Health
Well-
department hasn't been here to inspect.
You stir that stuff with your fist.
That's your fist?
That's gross.
Country Time Lemonade has announced the Country Time Legal Aid Program.
Oh, this is awesome.
Clever. Yeah.
They are going to pay the fines and permits for kids whose lemonade stands get them into trouble.
Oh,
Is it
that's
just
awesome.
kids?
It's kids under the age of 14.
So I got to get Jelly Bean on it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, if a little side hustle, if you also sell crack at those stands, like the ice cream guy does,
Yeah.
will they cover that?
14 and under, kids who are operating small businesses without a permit. Their small businesses, lemonade stands only. And
So that's a no on the crack.
That's a no on the crack thing.
well, I said life doesn't always give you lemonades, but when it does, you should be able to make and share lemonade with the neighborhood without legal implications. So they're going to pay for it.
That's great.
That is
Yeah.
sweet.
Some people may not be real happy with the next story. Kevin Spacey has a new movie coming out.
Wow.
This is called Billionaire.
Is it called I'm Fat and Lazy?
Is it called I have being accused of sexually assaulting many young boys? No, but
Yeah, that'd be a bad title
By the
for a
way-
movie. I don't think they'd draw a lot to the theater.
I had the wrong
close.
Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
I
You
was
had-
doing Kevin Smith.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
And
I
he's
wasn't
not
actually
bad
doing
either.
it, Kevin Smith.
He's lost a ton of weight after his
Yeah, I
heart
heard
attack.
that. It's hard to tell through the jersey. It's just I'm wearing a grown man.
Kevin Spacey's new movie is called Billionaire Boys Club,
Oh, yeah, they were crazy.
and it stars Ansel Elgort as well. It's coming out on July 19th, which is 2.5 years after the film wrapped. Producers were about to release and distribute this movie last October when Kevin Spacey was accused of sexual assault by a young actor, and then other young men came forward as well. This movie is based on the true story of the Los Angeles Ponzi scheming ring in the 1980s. It also features Emma Roberts, Suki Waterhouse, Billy Lord, who is the daughter of Carrie Fisher, and Carrie Elwes is there as well. We talked about him the other day. He's the guy from Saw and Princess Bride.
Is this a remake?
No, there was a movie with the same title in the 80s, but I
Yeah.
don't think it was the same plot.
Starring Judd
Nelson.
Nelson.
Yeah.
Now,
It had to be the same play. It's the Billionaire Boys Club.
I thought they murdered somebody, though, in that movie.
I think
Spoiler
they made
alert.
murder someone in this one.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
they
Well, then
murder
it's a
somebody.
remake.
Spoiler alert.
I liked that movie.
I like that movie, too.
well, they say in this movie, Kevin Spacey is almost unrecognizable in a beard and glasses, but some people are saying maybe the movie shouldn't have come out at all amidst all of this controversy.
I'm like a broken record on this, but I just feel like before we completely ruin a career, you got to be convicted of something.
He
or
has
lose a
apologized
lawsuit.
for his assault.
Is that what he did? He apologized
Yes.
for the assault? Then okay. Get it out.
Yeah,
I did not
he's-
know he did that.
Yeah, he has not really denied a whole lot. He apologized and then went to rehab in Arizona, the same place Harvey Weinstein went.
Do you think the rehab for boy touching is the same thing as my rehab for drinking? Think it's the same deal?
It sounds like they have a special one in Arizona.
Right, but there's special rehabs in Arizona where like it's a hotbed of rehabs. Is it a 12-step?
I don't know.
This
Never been.
area in Arizona is called Wickensburg. There are different rehabs for alcohol, for sex addiction.
Right.
There's all different types, and it's run by psychiatrists. And most of that stuff is under serious wraps. You
And
have no idea what they're doing.
Most
in
of
there.
it is also for several different kinds. Still, it's 12-step thing. The gambling. I went to a meeting for gambling now with a buddy of mine who wanted me to say something, and it was exactly the same as alcohol. The sex and love addiction, same exact thing. And by the way, nobody has any sex. Like I thought people were going to be having sex.
That's
like
what you went
There's
for?
a bunch of crying people.
Oh.
It's just a drag.
That's the big news of the day. It's brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online, goldbergjones.com.
You're saying to yourself, that is not enough. Well, don't worry. I have you covered. Coming up, it's Jelly Beans Joke of the Week.
And now, Jelly Bean's Joke of the Week.
Hey, Uncle Danny.
Hey, Jelly Bean.
Want to hear a Yo Mama joke?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, here goes. Yo Mama is so nice.
All right. How nice is she?
He's so nice that whenever I come over for a play date, he gives me those goldfish crackers and a Capri Sun. Hey-o!
What
I'm
happened?
just saying, like, he's really nice.
She's really nice.
She was nice. If you are a fan of radio, all kinds of radio, may I recommend you get the iHeartRadio app. It goes to all your favorite music, all your favorite stations. And by the way, it's all free of charge. Listen on your smart speakers. You can just say, hey, Alexa. I don't know if you say hey, but you certainly say Alexa. Play KZOK on iHeartRadio, or okay, Google, play KZOK on iHeartRadio. It's just that easy, and it's kind of awesome.
Well, yeah, we had a story in the news that was pretty funny about a town that created the world's largest bath bomb.
Yeah.
And we've discussed this before, that Paul loves taking baths.
Yeah, it's nice.
Danny, you love taking baths, but you need a bath bomb.
I don't love taking baths like Paul does, but I kind of wouldn't take one without a bath bomb. It's a special occasion when I get in the bath.
Well, this one was so big.
How big was it?
They had to put it in a swimming pool.
That's big.
Sounds luxurious, though, doesn't it?
Almost a 200-pound bath bomb.
Although, if you take the bath bomb out of that pool, what is the other thing you think is in it?
Winky.
Pee.
Yeah, winky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not that luxurious.
No.
But when,
Maybe.
Danny, you're pretty vocal about this stuff, but I was surprised when Paul admitted to loving baths, because he just doesn't seem like a big bath guy. And it's a lot of times people associate baths with women, like a bubble bath and a glass of wine.
Yeah, I by the way, I'm looking at Paul like, why is she being so mean?
Right.
But then I totally agree with you. That's the thing. But one of my favorite things in the world was to make a bubble bath and sit back. I had a house in Chicago when I lived there, out in the country. It had a TV in the roof, the ceiling above the tub.
Oh,
you
wow.
couldn't pry me. I know. You couldn't pry me out of there.
I almost moved to Shoreline at one point because I found a house that had that. It had a huge whirlpool bathtub and
That's
TVs
like my
in there.
dream.
Have you
Don't
ever-
shy away from it, guys. It can be manly to take a bath.
Sure can, and I'm going to help you out on this. It gets even cooler. You ever stay in a nice hotel that had the TV in the mirror in the bathroom?
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned that last night. I said, that's a $50,000 thing. You got to get $1,200. Company called Mirror. Look in the mirror. Something comes to your house and does it.
Wow.
Well, I guess, we, especially the older you get, you need to take time and do something for yourself.
Yeah.
So for Paul, something he loves doing for himself is baths. So, I mean, have at it.
But I don't have that big whirlpool bathtub. Like, we have one bathtub. It's in Jelly Bean's bathroom, and it's like kind of a miniature size. It's not a Paul size bathtub.
It's not a Paul size?
No.
I
You
used
need
to
fix
think.
that.
I used to do a thing kind of for myself, and I can only liken this to a day that most girls, my wife, spends at a spa, getting a massage, all this stuff. I don't do that. I don't care for the massage thing. I find it odd. But I used to do a thing, and I was younger, too. I was in my 20s, I think. And I would go 12, 13 miles from my house down to Olvera Street, which is a Mexican street, and it actually says that on a plaque. And there was a barber in a Mexican barber shop, and for $12, he'd shave you with a straight razor.
Oh, nice.
And it was, after you got away from being afraid, it was so, and it was hot towels and soap and conversation with a man with a razor and a thick accent. Just everything about it was cool.
It was only $12.
Yeah. Oh, it's also 1988.
Right. Yeah, they have a couple of those in New York and in Los Angeles. I think it's called the Art of the Shave, and it's more along the lines of $50.
Oh, yeah. The Art of the Shave also sells razors for $300.
Yeah, that's insane. Wow. Well, you guys listening, what is something you love doing for yourself? You know, you want to treat yourself. Even though you're a manly man, you can love a nice shave and a bubble bath. What is it for you? Call us now and let us know. 800-252-1025 or text your answer to 90627.
You know, apparently everybody on this show likes taking a good hot bath and feeling better about themselves. Paul seems to be on the verge of obsessed with it. I like the bath bombs. I wouldn't take anything without it. The world's largest bath bomb, that was just created. What is something that you love doing just for yourself? 1-800-252-1025 or text 90627.
Sarah, do you like taking baths? I can imagine you taking a bath.
Oh, I think
you're
she
such
totally
a germaphobe.
I'm not a big bath person.
Yeah, because you feel like you're sitting in your own filth or whatever.
Yep. When we lived in Philadelphia.
I don't make filth.
That's the best part about it, I think.
Sitting in your own filth?
When we lived in Philadelphia, I had a humongous apartment, and we had a separate shower and huge spa bathtub.
Yeah.
And so that was always clean. I would take that. But when it's the shower and then all the stuff's washing off you and then you're going to lie in that, ew.
It goes down the drain.
No, it doesn't. It goes up on the sides. It's all gnarly.
You're crazy.
Let's talk to my friend Abe Simpson.
Wayne, how the hell are you?
Hey, good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, sweetheart.
Hey, you know what I like to do? I like going having a couple beers. Then I go get my pedicure. I'm telling you, I love it when they do my pedicure.
Do you really? Because I thought it was kind of weird. Yeah, I went with my wife once or twice. Fine. You know, I'm not, ooh, guys, don't get sure. Go ahead, go get one. But it's just not for me. I was walking past the pedicure place on Queen Anne Avenue, and they had a guy in there, which they almost always do, but they had him pushed up right against the window. And he would see when anybody walked by, he'd look at him like, I don't do this all the time. Like, dude, relax, get your pedicure.
I see a fair amount of men getting pedicures, and I love getting them with the whole germ thing. I go to the places that put the bowl that holds your feet is covered in a plastic bag so that you're getting your own private little bath. You're not sharing your bathtub with your foot bathtub with
What are you
everybody else.
afraid you're going to catch?
And beside that, do you think they burn those bowls afterwards?
No, you don't ever touch the bowl. It's a plastic bag that is covers the entire bowl. And what do I think I'm going to catch? Some people do get gnarly diseases from those.
Really?
Not usually from those, usually from unsanitary tools. And they cut your cuticle.
Yep. Well, Abe Simpson, good for you for admitting that. Getting a pedicure, delightful experience.
It is a delightful experience.
Rob in Louisville, what's something you love doing for yourself?
Well, I honestly believe the only thing that keeps me from wanting to smack my wife once in a while is going out to a golf course and hitting some golf balls.
Well, I think that's great that you have found a game that stops you from hitting your wife. Because I was going to engage Rob in this whole, hey, I want to learn to golf thing, and then it just turned a weird corner. But it's nice. It's very nice, Rob, that calms you down.
Farmer Ted in Seattle, what's something you love doing for yourself?
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
We're doing very well. Thank you for asking. What do you got, Farmer Ted?
Well, I like to go into my office and shut the door and then sit down in front of my computer and then take out my steering wheel and then go sim racing.
Take out my steering wheel.
I don't.
That's not what I thought he was going to say.
I don't fully understand. Although I've seen the games where they have a steering wheel. Are you playing a video game?
Yeah, it's called iRacing. It's a online simulator, NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, all sorts of different vehicles.
Is it hard to get? Because I never play them, mostly because I don't understand them. That sounds really fun to me.
Yeah, I think you could
It's
get
a
in.
blast.
Cool.
We're talking about something you love doing for yourself because Paul has admitted he loves baths. Danny has long said he loves baths, but only if there's a bath
Only
bomb.
if there's a bath bomb.
Something you love doing for yourself is what? Joe in Historic Kent.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
So I still continue to play with RC cars and helicopters and drones, just because that's, I grew up, in the 80s, and back then they weren't like they are now. I mean, the technology that's gone into these things are just amazing, and it's so fun to play with, and my kid loves it as well. So I mean, it's awesome.
That's a cool thing where you can do something that's time with your family, because a lot of these games take you away from your family.
Yeah.
But some, because I like the RC cars, never got that much into, but the helicopters, boy, they make them today that are just amazing. I mean, you could almost go and get your pilot's license.
Gene in Puyallup, good morning.
Hey, good morning, you crazy wild people.
All right.
Anyway, the one thing I really like to have done is outstanding foot massage, because all the reflexology and all the organs and so forth that are connected to, to make your whole body feel well, and it's just one of the greatest things.
Yeah, I can't do that one. I can't have people touching my feet. Yeah.
Oh, I pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, well, me too. Because it said on the sign, foot massage.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a girl never got anywhere near my feet. It was weird.
A texter in 90627 says they treat themselves to a cup of coffee from a Bikini Barista at least once a week.
There you go.
It's a nice little treat.
That's kind of cool, as long as you don't come off lascivious and stuff.
How can you not, though?
Yeah, true. You're pulled over at a cup of coffee with a girl in her underwear.
Aaron on Joint Base Lewis McCord says, I enjoy reloading shotgun shells in my garage while playing KZOK.
Nice.
A lot of guys
cool.
do that. A lot of
Scary.
guys like to make their own ammo.
Scary to make your own, because bullets in general, but shotgun shells, especially 12 gauge, it's an explosive full of shrapnel. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you put in a bomb. So that would scare me a bit, but kind of cool.
How about our friend Dave in Federal Way?
Half a day from Guam, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. What do you got?
I like to do two things. One of them is surfing. That takes my mind off of some stress. And then after that, when I am stressed, I like to go do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at Gracie Barra. Federal Way.
Thanks, Dave.
We were all on pins and needles.
Yeah.
Clyde in Lakewood, something you like doing for yourself is what?
Is I like to cook for myself and whatever family's around.
Boy, that's a good one. And I'm, whether you're a married man or not, if you're good in the kitchen and you're wearing the apron and stuff and you're doing the whole deal and something elegant and refined, even if it's, just a steak, but you elevate it to a nice level, that's hot. That is being a good cook. That's a thing for me.
Paul, what is something other than baths that you like doing for yourself?
Something simple, but new undershirts, brand new undershirts. Like there's nothing like the feel of a brand new undershirt. If I could wear one every single day, like it'd be incredibly wasteful to wear a shirt one time and throw it away.
And who are those celebrities
totally
that announce that they do that they only wear clothes once?
I've heard some politicians that have gotten caught doing that, or people have written exposés on them doing that.
Well, and the other weird thing about Paul with this thing he likes to treat himself with is he likes those undershirts unwashed.
Yeah, I don't wash clothes when I bring them home from the store.
No, who does that?
Because that's you lose the brand new feeling the first time you wash it. Yeah.
You're supposed to do that because they're treated with chemicals.
Whatever.
Paul just likes to take it off the back of the young man wearing it.
The chemicals feel great. John in Tacoma texted in something I also enjoy: the shower beer.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things on the
shower beer's
planet.
great.
Shower beer.
I hate you guys.
Sorry.
Tori, what is something you love doing for yourself?
Every once in a while, I like to go to Molly Moon's and get their salted caramel ice cream.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's weird, though. It's not too sweet. It's almost a savory kind of ice cream.
They make really nice ice cream at Molly Moon. And it is a treat because, one, it's ice cream, and two, it costs your rent.
I just find, and I don't mean to say amusing. I just can't think of the other word. Who thinks that Tori eats a whole ice cream cone?
Oh, she doesn't.
I totally do.
See, I bet you
over a week.
Waffle cone?
Yeah, that'll be her meal for the week.
And Derek, I'm a little afraid to ask, but what is something you love doing for yourself?
It's real simple. I just love going out for a nice bird watching adventure.
No, you don't.
I do. I swear. I love going out to the park and looking at the different birds. I spotted a red-billed mesquite a week back. It was cool. And I'm an expert bird caller. I know all the bird calls.
Let's hear one.
Yeah.
Hey, Bert.
They talk back. It's crazy.
It is. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing. It's
wild.
Wow, no, yeah.
All right. Well, we've got more bird calls from Derek and the news next. News is brought to you by Les Schwab. A 42-year-old man is in serious condition after he was stabbed yesterday in Sodo. Police and medics responded to the scene on 4th South and Holgate. About 6:30 in the morning, they'd received calls about a stabbing. When they arrived at the scene, they did find this victim, but not his perpetrator, or not the perpetrator of the crime. Same for a man in his 30s. He is battling life-threatening injuries from a shooting in Seattle's Maple Leaf neighborhood overnight. This happened about 3 o'clock in the morning. Police were called to Lake City Way Northeast and found a 30-year-old man critically wounded from a gunshot. He was taken to Harborview. We still do not have any information about a motive or a suspect.
Wow.
The Seattle City Council yesterday voted 7-2 to repeal the head tax on the city's largest employers.
Do you know why?
Because you told them to.
Because 7 of those guys listen to this show and realize, hey, the people are turning on me.
Now, of course, Amazon would have had a huge tax burden. They estimate it would have been over $12 million each year because Amazon employs about 50,000 workers here in Seattle. But
That's all? Really? I would have thought way more than that.
That's a lot of people working for one
Right,
company.
no, but $12 million a year in that tax. I thought it would have been $100 million a year or something like that.
Well, it's based on employees.
Yeah,
so
$272 per employee.
If they only have 50,000 and then they were to cut that number or raise that number, then that number would go up or down accordingly. Well, every effort to split the state of California, and there have been several, has ultimately failed, but there's a new one being led by Silicon Valley venture capitalist Tim Draper that has already gone further than the other ones. Draper's plan is to split California into 3 separate states of roughly equal population. It'll be Northern California, which is the Bay Area north to California, then regular California.
Oh, yeah.
Coastal Strip, which includes Los Angeles, and then Southern California, which stretches from Fresno south to San Diego.
Will any of this improve traffic?
No, I think it would make it worse.
Yeah,
because-
okay. Will any of this fix property values in Los Angeles? Because I got a house I bought when I met my wife 12 years ago that I can't sell. So
Yeah.
if this will fix that, okay. Otherwise, this is stupid just like the last 3 times they've done it.
It gives you an amazing picture of how much population is centralized there in Los Angeles County, because they said they're going to split into 3 equal population pieces, and the part that's just regular California is tiny.
I think
but everyone lives there, apparently.
I think they say, yeah, they say 4 million people in Los Angeles, but in the where you commute to go to work in Los Angeles, that area is 8 million people.
Right.
Well, they received 420,000 signatures for support, enough for it to qualify for the November ballot. But they said in a survey, they've shown 72% of registered state voters oppose this plan. So it will be an uphill battle.
Right.
Sears announced yesterday that they plan to expand the number of auto service departments nationwide as part of its partnership with Amazon.
Right.
The company said an additional 81 stores will begin offering the option to buy tires on Amazon, have them shipped to the Sears store, and then they put it on for you. That brings the number of location total to 118. They said it's been going very well. Sears shares spiked amidst this announcement, despite earlier this year, the Sears stores announced they'd be closing 72 out of 100 locations that are no longer
I
profitable.
wonder what ever happened to Roebuck.
I think he died.
Well, he's like the guy that didn't win on Star Search or something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking about him one day. You think, well, of course he died.
Yeah.
I think he's the genius. He sold before it got bad.
No, but I think he sold before it got big, too.
I think he
Oh.
sold when we were riding horses to
Right,
work.
exactly.
Derek, what happened to Roebuck? I bet
Yeah.
you have no idea how to spell that, do you?
I don't know how to spell it. It's weird.
It's Roebuck, Roebuck.
I think so.
Yeah.
What, were you in a spelling bee? You know, it was the last word, Roebuck.
Can I get the country of origin, please?
I'll use it in a sentence. I went to Sears to get my tires.
I think Jeff Bezos eventually is just going to buy Sears. He's
Yep.
waiting for it to be, a rock bottom price, and then he's going to buy it. He'll use the giant store for distribution centers for Amazon, and he'll keep the auto service part of it open.
Brand new tires for his boat.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, too, to keep the Sears name because even though the stores have been failing, everybody knows Sears.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be over that pretty quick.
You think it's just going to be Amazon, get your tires done?
I
in your
guess we
store?
go Bezosville.
Bezosville, yeah.
I like it.
Derek, you finding anything
What
in
happened
there?
to Roebuck, Derek?
Come on,
it's
man.
important.
He could have died again while waiting for you to finish your bird calls.
I have no idea what happened to Roebuck. I apologize.
Oh, man. I was counting on you, son.
Well, Paul's diligently working to find out what happened to Mr. Roebuck.
Yeah, we got to know what happened to
and his
Roebuck.
family.
All I know is that he died in 1948.
Oh, that's later than I thought.
Well, why'd we drop his name off Sears and Roebuck?
I think we did it before. No, okay, good question.
Because I'm sure Sears is dead too, right?
Mr. Sears?
Yeah.
Is that a guy?
I'm telling you, I think Mr. Roebuck sold and made a fortune and went to live in Malibu.
Is that what you think happened? Because there were no roads to that in 1948.
Well, it's Chicago-based, so I guess he went to
there
live at the penthouse of the Sears Tower.
Which also wasn't there for another 40 years.
It looks like they dropped Roebuck in the early 1900s, so he's been gone for a while.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, I don't know
say him and,
why.
don't say him and Angela Lansbury. There's some controversy bubbling over in Utah.
Because everybody's got 9 wives?
Well, this has to do with soda. They have been selling a couple of controversial branded sodas. One of these bottles of soda is called Not C Cola with a K.
They can't do that.
No.
Why would they
As
do
in,
that?
I can't see you.
Right. I
Not
got it.
C Cola. If you say it faster, it's certainly not what you're saying.
Yeah, even if you say it slowly.
No,
it's
how
Nazi
you
Cola.
say it sounds an awful lot like Nazi cola.
Right, yeah.
I mean, because they get parched like anybody else, but I don't want to be the guy that gives them cola.
There's also one who, it's 2 words. The last word is JOOCE, Orthodox Juice.
Oh, I was thinking jukes in that spelling, but
Orthodox Juice.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's also offensive to several people. Nazi Cola.
I think way less offensive than Nazi cola.
Yeah, definitely.
Orthodox Jew soda. I can see Orthodox Jews going, say, what's up with that? But you throw him, you say, here, Rabbi, have this. He's going to go, no, you can't call it that.
Yeah, when it's Orthodox juice soda from the makers of Nazi Cola, then they're definitely going to be up in arms.
I found another one they have called Leninade with the hammer and sickle on it.
What the hell are they doing?
It's kind of clever.
Well, there's a lot of people wondering how they've been able to market this and why it's being carried in stores. It's pretty offensive. to carry now.
I'm just shocked that it could get onto the shelves.
Yep. An alligator in Florida delayed a flight after it wandered onto the runway while a plane was landing.
That's a big alligator.
Yeah.
It was a big alligator. One of the passengers captured video of this alligator just walking right across the plane's path as it landed in Orlando International Airport. So not even a tiny little puddle jumper place, a regular old airport. They had to go back up into the air, circle around, and wait for the alligator to cross the road before they could try to tackle it
Did they
again.
not see it?
And a visitor to Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom in Florida captured video of a very sneaky squirrel went into a store and stole a pack of M&Ms.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This video is up right now at KZOK.com because it's very cool. But it shows this wily little squirrel, and the store worker sees it and tries to shoo it out. But it wanted those peanut M&Ms,
Right.
man. It dropped them.
Was the squirrel by chance wearing a Hawaiian shirt? Was that Chip or is it Dale?
Oh,
It's one
right,
of-
yeah.
I think it's Dale.
And by the way, aren't they Australian?
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. That
Are
doesn't
Chip
mean-
and Dale Australian?
Their TV show was.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, they
I didn't know
were.
that.
I don't think they were Australian, but some of the other characters.
Now
were.
they talked like crikeys.
I don't think they did. I think the other characters in the show did. In Rescue Rangers, you're
Don't
talking
look
about?
at me, Danny.
Yeah.
You
know,
weren't
I've
allowed to have
seen
toys.
And police in Tennessee arrested a man who fought them in just underwear and cowboy boots at Walmart.
I swear to God, there's a picture of me like that.
Well, Danny, when you go to Walmart, I'm sure that's all you think you need is your underwear and your cowboy boots.
I like to wear one of Paul's old T-shirts. They just feel good.
Jacob Bradley Hodge, 28 years old, was charged with public intoxication and disorderly conduct. He did not think there was anything wrong with going to Walmart in just his underwear and cowboy boots.
I'm not positive there is. Certainly illegal.
Well,
yeah, I wouldn't think so.
He was yelling at people. He was belligerent. I'm also thinking a man in a Speedo probably couldn't go in. You know,
I'm not positive. I think they could and just don't.
Because you see signs on the door, you know, no bathing suits, especially in...
No shoes, no shirts, no service.
Right.
I think, but that infringes on their rights. And by the way, I'm against this because I think the people that voted this in that you can go shopping naked. Remember we discussed, but can't you order a burger and naked sitting on the counter?
I think so.
Or some such thing. That's
you can't
stupid.
If there's kids there, you can't be naked in
Can't be
public
naked if there's kids there. I'm with you 100%.
So Walmart clearly.
One of the things I stand for. You can't be naked if there's a kid there. Even my own kid just won't be around him.
A man is suspected of assaulting someone with an axe and then trying to flee from police. Only he tried to flee via swimming through MacArthur Park Lake
in
to
Los
avoid
Angeles?
the cops. Yes.
Ooh, who swims in that?
Is it very polluted?
Yes, it's a lake in downtown Los Angeles.
Ew. Well, they just waited him out. So he hits somebody with an axe, swims, trying to get away from the cops, swims into the middle of the lake, gets into a small little island that's in the middle of the lake, and then refuses to leave. Eventually, he's like, well, now what am I going to do? Had to swim right back to land.
Well, there's he was going no place. It's the size of a football field.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's going to swim till he vanishes. You just watch him go, he's going to still do that, crazy man? But I don't know why they can't gentrify that neighborhood, by the way. That's a big lake with a fountain in it and paddle boats that you can rent in downtown Los Angeles, and nobody's willing to live there.
Oh, that's a shame.
Gangs, I think.
An Oklahoma waitress has been arrested for what she did at a Twin Peaks restaurant.
Cannot wait to hear what she did.
Yeah.
Rachel Tyler, first day of work. And there she is at this restaurant. And
at what?
The restaurant.
She did say that.
Yep.
Yeah, restaurant. Like Hooters is a restaurant.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Tilted kilts.
I had no idea.
Yeah, these are all restaurants.
Well,
Twin
but a
Peaks.
tilted kilt should be like a wiener restaurant or something.
It's not. It's
That's
a
what
restaurant.
You're dangerously close to exposing.
Well, they spotted her first day of work holding the credit cards and waving them in front of her apron. And they said, "What do you have in that apron?" She had a skimmer.
Oh, wow. God
First
bless her.
day of work at a restaurant, and she is busted skimming.
There's got to be easier ways to get credit card numbers. I mean, I do transactions over the computer that I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They steal Amy's identity. They don't seem to steal mine that often, but it seems like there's got to be an easy skimmers hidden in your underwear or whatever.
Pizza, to many, is the perfect food.
Yeah, it is.
Could you make pizza any better? Well, one company called Boston Pizza, which is actually made in Canada, to confuse things a little bit.
Right, sure. Yeah.
They are offering a brand new pizza box that is designed for eating in bed. So the tray, think of a tray that you would use like if you were bringing mom or dad.
I have one of those.
breakfast in bed.
I eat in that thing every now and again.
Yeah.
'Cause I got that bed that'll sit up. I'm like, all right, we have to take this all the way to the... And so I have one of those trays.
You can order a pizza box that this box now assembles into a tray.
Oh, folds out. Yeah.
Wow. I have a thing that's a lot like that, but especially for eating pizza in bed. It's called the box it came in. Who cares?
This is pretty awesome, though. It unfolds, and that way, no grease or anything
Right.
would get onto your bedspread, and it folds open. And they said this might be the best Father's Day gift ever.
I have the same thing for the getting no grease on my bed, and that is eating on Amy's side of the bed. These things are all easily remedied.
There's a new study out that wants to remind people there are some pretty gross things lurking in your house.
I know.
No, it's not your husband. It's not Danny Bonaduce.
No.
It's not Paul. It's your dish
kinda
towel.
Paul.
They said they did a study of kitchen towels and found they are teeming with bacterial growth, especially ones who have kids in the house, places with higher humidity, people who and that these can lead to all sorts of illnesses like enterococcus
Yeah.
Oh, I hate to get that.
I've had that.
and staphylococcus.
Yeah, I had a
the second
staphylococcus.
time you asked for it.
It's terrible, man.
What
I'm surprised with Amy, because she's like you guys, not a germaphobe or anything, but a normal human being and not disgusting like me.
Yeah.
There's these 2 towels that hang on our oven door, and they're right behind the sink. So I often wash my face, wash my hands, and I dry my fingers on that, and that's what it's for. But who doesn't then blow their nose because they just wash their hand? And, I just think there's gross stuff by her standards. I'm surprised we still have those towels.
Yeah, by her standards. You
By
mean
her standards, it's
mucus
disgusting.
and-
Yeah. By me, it's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
blew
I
my
don't-
nose in a sock this morning and threw it in the dirty clothes hamper.
Gross.
When she finds that, I'm going to have a talking to.
Oh. I don't blow my nose on those hand towels, but I'll wipe spills up off the counter and then put it right back out.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it is.
So you guys are the perpetrators of staphylococcus.
Yeah,
that's
everybody
what we
knows
are.
that. Patient zero.
The lesson to be learned is you need to switch out your dish towels much more frequently than you think you need to.
More than once a year?
But I'm thinking hourly if that's going to change it.
News is brought to you by Les Schwab. We've got a lot of show left to come. We've got music news. We've got entertainment. A lot of happenings in the world of sports, including a way for you to get free tacos today. And sports is brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA. In music news, Slash is so interested in getting his divorce finalized, he has decided to just fork over a whole lot of loot to Perla. $6.6 million to finish the wedding.
To finish, because I'm thinking $6 million to divorce Slash, not enough.
Right.
Well, she also gets $100,000 a month in spousal support until she dies or remarries. Then
Why would you ever remarry?
Never.
I mean, that's why Gresham didn't remarry while that had that 10-year window.
She
She get
also-
half of that big hat? That'd be cool.
she also gets to keep the Range Rover, the Mercedes, and the other Mercedes.
Oh.
They have 2 kids, age 15 and 13. She gets primary custody, and he also pays $40,000 per month in child support.
So it's
His sons-
$140,000 a month to be Slash.
Mm-hmm.
To send to a woman you're not having sex with.
Yep.
Wow, that's a terrible
The
deal.
kids also collect 1.8% of his income until the year 2036.
Did he have a lawyer?
Right. Not Rick Jones. He
Call
didn't have
Rick Jones, man. You did done way better than that.
He said that he just wants to move on, so sign it. Let's wrap this up so I can pretend this never happened.
Well, he's got a ton more dough than I will ever dream. Well, no, I dream big, but he's got more dough. But I will tell you, Mr. Slash, as my friend, that's exactly what I did. I said, shine it, whatever's right, just give it to her. We were together a long time. And I'm super sorry I did that now, to be honest with you.
Because he's saying, I want to never think about it again. You're going to think about it every time you write those checks.
Yeah.
Derek, what is Slash's net worth?
Got to be $180 million. I don't know
Now,
where you picked that number.
They were married for 13 years.
She wasn't even
kids.
married to him during the good parts of the career.
Well, they must have been together for a while prior to that because the kid is 13. So they got married 13 years ago. They've probably been together for 20 years.
All right, still
Everything I can find is around $40 to $50 million.
cannot imagine that to be correct.
I don't think that's
He made
right.
$40 million this year and last year.
Axel has 150, but yeah, Slash, I'm seeing $40 million.
Wow, that's not enough.
That
I
must
have
not-
$40 million.
They're just not. He
Do
just
you?
hasn't
I can't believe
cashed
that
the
just
check
flew
yet.
out there. I'm sorry, dear.
He just hasn't cashed the tour check yet.
Maybe. God.
KZOK and iHeartRadio present the biggest weekend of music all year long. It is our 2018 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Yep, it is back, taking place in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, September 21st and 22nd. So many different bands will be there, like Fleetwood Mac, Leonard Skinner, Imagine Dragons, Justin Timberlake, Jack White. That's just to name a few. The Capital One cardholder presale is going on now. If you would like to get involved while you still can, iHeartRadio.com/Capital One. The regular general on sale will be Friday at 10 a.m.
You know that Jennifer Garner, is that her, the What's in Your Wallet?
Yep.
The cover one?
She's cute.
Wow, that's weird. That's what I was going to say. And what that may not be like, a revelation to some people. I never thought she was that cute. I didn't understand all the fuss, but I saw in one of those commercials when she's adorable.
Slash went through an earlier divorce in 1997.
There you go. That's
why
the big career.
Yeah, Slash lost half his money in 1997. So.
Whoa, who was he married to then and for how long? I
Oh,
wonder?
you know her. She's the rich girl.
A model.
Dale Hall wrote a song about her.
Renee Surin.
Never heard of her.
Yeah. They were married 5 years, 92 to 97.
Oh, yeah. That cost him.
The wrong years, man.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, how there was a petition running to have Netflix extend the availability of the Anthony Bourdain CNN series Parts Unknown.
Yeah.
They have gotten a deal together with CNN, and they will extend the episodes will be still be on Netflix.
I totally want to see those. I think that's important. Yeah. Any more information on why he killed himself? A note. I'm hearing things about the girl. There was no note, right?
No note.
I was hearing it was about the girl, that he was lovelorn. What do you know then if you're saying nope?
Because her friend's family have spoken out. Rose McGowan, who is one of Asia Argento's best friends, says they had an open relationship. There was no rife.
I don't think that has anything to do with being heartbroken.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean he was great with that.
Both parts. Both people, open relationship. She said that there was no bad blood. They had just taken pictures together. They had just spent vacations together. The relationship was good. His mother said he was in a dark place off and on over the past several years.
Okay, so the question is, does anybody have any more information about why he did this then? Now we know maybe he didn't do it about the girl.
No, his mom said he had been in a dark place, that he had been battling depression. So what sets somebody off?
That's what I want to know. I want to get did any of the crew members say he acted really weird that night? He said, I'm really depressed. I'm in a dark place. That kind of stuff. I can't believe I don't know yet, at least more information.
Yeah.
Australian actor and star of the Crocodile Dundee film series Paul Hogan will star as himself in a new feature film called The Very Excellent Mr. Dundee.
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Okay, makes me smile just to hear it, but did not know it took that long.
No,
I would have thought that was a lot faster. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah. One of the greatest scenes, though, of all time in film, right?
Yeah.
This new film will be shot in Australia, Los Angeles, and Vancouver, with production starting next month. The Dundee film series has gained renewed attention after he starred in that short film that looked like it was going to be a trailer.
Right.
I was so excited for it. I wanted to see that movie so bad.
It was just an advertisement for tourism in Australia during the Super Bowl. But everyone said, well, let's do something again.
Yeah.
So he will return to the big screen, the very excellent Mr. Dundee, playing a semi-fictional version of himself.
So he's not playing Dundee.
He is, okay, this is some of what they've said. His manager tells him, don't do anything to mess this up, as his character is on the verge of receiving a knighthood
I got it.
for services in comedy and film. So this is him, it's Crocodile Dundee.
I got it. Here's what it is. His career is in the toilet, which it is. He's got a chance to do a sequel or whatever. And his lawyer saying, don't screw this up. Don't get arrested again. Don't get a bad divorce.
Yeah.
And you can play Crocodile Dundee and make a lot of money. And by the way, I will see it, although he has very crepey skin.
The 1986 Crocodile Dundee movie is still the top-grossing Australian film ever.
Wow, beating Road Warrior.
Yeah, Road Warrior did not do very well. And then when they remade those, when they did
they were American.
They were American, yeah. We talked about Bo Duke from Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah. I was reading all about him because you told me the story. I had no idea what was going on with this guy.
Well, John Schneider, that's his name. He was sentenced to 3 days in jail for failure to pay more than $150,000 in back spousal support to his estranged wife, Elvira. Well,
But not the Elvira.
No, just a woman.
Who is the Elvira? Because I'll put up an argument. You think it's
Cassandra Peters?
I think it's Elvira, and they came first, I think.
Oh, okay.
So John Schneider went to jail yesterday and then was let out of jail 6 hours later.
Well, that's a nice deal. Can I get that?
10:29 a.m. and he was out around 346.
Good behavior.
They said there is such bad overcrowding that he still has to do his community service, but he has to follow a long list of obligations. He's got to pay the spousal support or he'll face going back to jail again.
3 days, not enough. You don't learn any lesson by going to jail 3 days.
7 hours.
Yeah, even
basically
less.
what he went for. Avengers Infinity War is one step closer to making infinity dollars. The Marvel Studios sequel officially crossed the $2 billion mark yesterday, which is a very rare achievement. It's only the 4th film in history to break that barrier.
How many of them are that guy Cameron's?
Well, let's see. At number 1 is Avatar.
That one.
Yeah.
Cameron. At number 2 is Titanic.
That's that same guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Then we've got Star Wars The Force Awakens,
All right.
Avengers Infinity War, and Jurassic World, believe it or not.
So
I
he's
used to
good for
wrestle
2
that
out of
movie in
5.
high school.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry. I think I used to wrestle that movie in high school.
So he's got 2 out of the top 5.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Spielberg did he do that Star Wars The Force Awakens, or did he just do the Han
I don't
Solo
think
movie?
So, no.
Oh no, I'm thinking Ron Howard.
Yeah.
So Spielberg did Jurassic World?
Yes.
So 3 out of 5?
No, Spielberg now.
Oh, right. James Cameron, Spielberg.
James Cameron. Avengers? I don't know who did Avengers.
No, me either.
But these are a lot of
I know that Thor is in it.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Mitch Haniger, Ryan Healy each homered twice, and the first place Seattle Mariners beat the Angels 6-3.
Yeah, baby.
Mike Trout did hit 2 home runs for the second consecutive night. He now leads the majors with 23 home runs on the season. Mike Leake only allowed 1
I would
run.
do that, but I don't know what team that guy's on.
He's on the Angels.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, a very good baseball player.
It
Good
is
guy.
hard to
He's
him.
handsome.
Anyway, we are
He's got a great
half
sense of humor. He can
game
cook.
ahead of Houston atop the AL West.
No, wait,
Today's
that's
Sounders-
actually pretty good.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't do it. I never know what's happening.
The Sounders play the Red Bulls today at 5, and the World Cup getting ready to get underway tomorrow, 8 a.m. Russia taking on Saudi Arabia. Brazil are the World Cup favorites. And big news overnight, North American soccer fans have something to look forward to beyond this year's World Cup, because FIFA announced yesterday the U.S., Canada, and Mexico have beaten Morocco and will play host to the 2026 sporting event. The first to be awarded to 3 countries, the first featuring Canada as a host, and we have not hosted the World Cup since 1994. You can't, because this was by design. We wanted Canada to be part of this.
You can't tell me when I can. I'll pick whenever I want.
All
We're
right.
so fired.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
are
are.
you making fart sounds on my radio station?
Yeah.
I just want to do an
A
impression of
lot.
our boss in about 5 minutes.
But here's what we'll say in that meeting.
Yesterday, the Storm defeated the Chicago Sky 96-85. The Storm versus the Connecticut Sun happens Friday at 7. I mentioned tacos, my friend.
You did. You mentioned tacos.
Well, Taco Bell's Steal a Game, Steal a Taco promotion was underway for the NBA championship. And you know what happened?
Somebody stole a game.
Yes.
I don't even know what's happening. See? Nope, because I don't understand.
The Warriors stole a game from the Cavaliers.
Correct.
Oh, great. I wasn't sure what sport we were talking about. So it was basketball. You did say
Okay, Dan.
basketball, right?
Golden State beat the Cleveland Cavaliers at home in Game 3, so we all get free Doritos Locos Tacos.
All right.
In fact, all of America gets them. Today, between 2 and 6, Taco Bell, you can get your free taco.
What do you think Taco Bell would do if the whole country decided to turn up? Say, 300 million
Yeah.
tacos. If
Right at 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
everybody shows up to
They
the
would run for
drive-thru.
the border. That's what they would do. They'd live their slogan.
This is going to sound really crazy, but while we were making fart sounds,
Yeah.
I was wondering, Tori can't roll her R's.
Yeah.
So she can't go, she goes da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So she can't do that.
Right.
Roja.
Yeah.
Do you think Tori can make a...
I think she wouldn't. She never would do that.
I'd never.
I think if she could, it would be fine with me.
Oh, Danny.
Do you want me to try?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
No, she can't do it.
You know, when this started to happen, I'm going, I think this might be lame. I don't think we should make the poor kid make fart sounds. And then funny happened.
I've never met somebody who couldn't. Babies can do it.
Yeah, she's perfect in every way, but her tongue doesn't work right.
Yeah.
That's true. Wait, what?
That's what I've heard.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUIOA. That's 1-800-DUIOA. Tomorrow is Thursday.
I know what that means.
We've got a big show planned at 7:50. We will have a filthy forecast.
Ooh,
Okay. At 7:20, you can win a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett June 23rd at Key Arena. And some secret shenanigans planned throughout the show.
Wow, I like that. Hey, last night I was reading a book in bed, and it was called something to the effect of The 5 People You'll Meet in Heaven. And I thought, God, I hope one of them's Slayton.
Yeah.
And then I thought, he's got to be dead to make that happen. That's terrible that I would think that about my friend. Well, he's not dead. He's going to come into the studio any minute now, and he's going to play was the word, a lot of classic rock and roll for your listening pleasure. So we should get out of his way. Bye.